and welcome to Talking Wrestling with Pondwater Dave. My name is Justin Davis, and as always, I'm joined by the First Lady of the Arn Anderson Fan Club, Miss Amy Vaughn, and of course, the namesake of this show, Mr. Pondwater, Dave Miller, and we have a variety of guests on the show today. And for the first part of the show, we have Paul and Sammy Riot from the Lost Art of Wrestling. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having us. We're doing pretty good. How about y'all?
Doing great. Right off the bat, we opened with that video of Destiny that's going to take place for MPX Wrestling, and but before March 16th in Texas, you can see Fuego del Sol in McGee, Mississippi.
Yeah,
this Friday night.
Got a big long time coming. That's a first time matchup too. Vladimir Koloff and Fuego, they've been on the independent circuit for a long time together, never touched. So
wow,
it's first time. Actually, every match on this show is first time matchup. So
cool.
Really excited about that.
And
yeah, I saw Ray Fury. Right,
that's main event in the middle of the card right there.
Yeah.
Who else you got? Like I said, we got Ray Fury. I saw Wes Warren, right? Those have both of those been on our show before.
So Wes Warren is actually our zero gravity champion. He's going to be going against Sammy Riot.
You got him, Sammy. We've talked to him. Believe me, you got him.
They have a little bit of a past, but they've never shared the ring in this form. You know what I mean? So that'll be an exciting matchup. And then we have Ray Fury. He's battling Clayton Bloodstone, who is making his debut. And that should be really exciting. And then we also have a big triple threat tag match, Amped Up versus the Russell Twins versus the Varsity.
Well, I've got the graphics, and I'll put them up on the screen. We'll run through the card. But before we do that, bring everybody up to speed about Lost Art of Wrestling, where you're out of, how long you've been running.
Okay. Well, see, we are all about reaching the lost through the art of professional wrestling. We are a faith-based promotion. We have a special guest speaker at every event that shares the gospel. And our whole mission is basically just trying to spread the word, but having fun while doing it. You don't often see wrestling and the gospel put together. Mm-hmm. And as a kid, I saw Sting, an interview with Sting, saying that, he was a Christian and he was a wrestler, and it could be done. So that's what I always wanted to do. So I put the two together. Back in 2019, we had our first event, and it was a huge success. We're based out of McGee, Mississippi. We ran at the Armory, and we planned for like 250 people. We ended up doubling that, running out of chairs.
Awesome.
And standing room only. People kept showing up. That's one of the biggest debuts in Mississippi. And then we had another show in 2019 in November. And then it done pretty well. It was about 200 people at that event, but we were up against a couple of things locally. And then 2020 hit, and we had a show in January of 2020 with 5 more shows prepared for the rest of the year, and of course, COVID. So
I was on that one.
Yeah, and I ended up selling my ring. I got out of the business, and then it was last March, somebody asked about it. Mm-hmm. And we just planted the seed there and brought it back. And our first show back was July of 23, and it was exciting. It was another big event. Like, we ended up with almost 400 people at that event, and it was just a God thing. Like, there's no other way to explain it. Coming back from a 3.5 year absence to having almost 400 fans was just awesome. And then came back. We had another show in, December the 2nd of last year. It was another pretty good turnout. And now here we are back March 8th this weekend with a huge event. 8 matches total. just a lot of fun to be had on that show. So
Did
Open for your match tonight.
there it is. There's the flyer right there.
Is this a fundraiser for something? Did I see that?
Yes, this event will be a fundraiser for the fire department.
Fire
MED.
department.
Yeah, so what we do, every show we've ever done, we do a fundraiser. We split the proceeds of the ticket sales right down the middle. And then typically we let the concession stand be done by the whoever's doing the fundraiser.
Sure.
So that's one way that we can help our community. So
Oh, that's awesome. And then that really gets people out there to support what you're doing, because not only they're supporting you, they're helping out their local fire department.
yeah, and it's just something that I have a passion for, is helping the community, and whenever I can, I try to.
Wrestling's a great way to do it. Wrestling was a great fundraiser when I was in high school.
Yes.
I mean, it's nothing new. People have been, but then you take wrestling and then the positive message with it, and
oh yeah.
I mean, and when wrestling is right, there's nothing better. That's
right. Yeah, it's the best thing around, right?
Yes,
exactly.
I mean, we're all talking about it. It's I don't know. It's just something about it. Like, it's always. I lost my dad at such a young age. Wrestling has always been there for me through everything, wrestling and God. So that's why, like I said, that's why I brought it together. So,
well, we got there's the poster for it.
Here's that big triple threat tag. This is the Russell Twins debut for us. Actually, Dirty Cam actually wrestled for us at the last event. But this will be the debut of the tag team, the Russell Twins, at our event. And then the varsity, they're well known around Mississippi, all over the Gulf Coast, and so are Amped Up as well. But this is the first time the three will be in the ring at the same time. So this should be really fun. And the plan is to do not your traditional where you have two teams outside or two teams in the ring and everybody else outside. We're going to do one member of each team in the ring for this match.
Oh, I love that. It's hard to. I think the crowd can't keep up when you have that one team outside the ring.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about this one. Yeah.
So that's going to be be good. I've worked with Amped Up in the varsity. I don't think I've worked with the Russell Twins yet.
Oh, they're really good. You're in for a treat. And all these guys are, less than 3 years in the business.
Right.
So, I mean, that just speaks for it. I mean, Amped Up has been on so many different cards over really throughout the entire South. I've been on AEW a couple of times, and I don't know. All three of these teams have a really bright future.
Next up, Alex Cruz versus Isaiah Zane.
And Isaiah Zane is another guy. He's part of a group with the Russell Twins, and they travel together. And I'm excited to have him back on the show again. And Alex Cruz, after coming back, 4 years of him being out? Yeah. He's back. Wow. And, just the right time too, because now we're back. So he got to debut for us at the last event. So
he did 4 years stint with the military. So
yeah.
Oh.
He's just, I think was it last week when he came back?
Oh,
it's been the last couple of weeks.
He was at our show in December. So
okay.
Yeah. But
I think he recently made his comeback.
He's picking up steam. So he's getting that
got that ring rust off.
Right, yeah.
He's bigger than he was the last time I saw him.
Well, I'm sure as a military man, he's probably, he's done a lot of cardio. Like, it probably didn't take much, but I'm still, as I've heard, getting back in the ring, that's a whole different animal.
Well,
you can be in shape, but
he was a force to be reckoned with before he went in the military. So
yeah,
look out now.
Oh yeah.
Christian Blake versus the Charles West.
Yeah, and in my opinion, Christian Blake is probably the most underrated wrestler all along the South. There's just not many people that can do what he can do in the ring. He's actually one of the only guys that I would probably come back to wrestle. I haven't wrestled in 2 years, but he's one of the guys that I would come back.
I was gonna
Oh.
ask you about that because I noticed Sammy's on the card and you're not.
It's been 2 years. I had a battle with COVID myself back in January of 22, and it put me on my butt. I was down for about 4 months. Just lost breath going just from my car to my desk at work. So I just hadn't got back in shape, and I don't know if I'll ever do it again, to be honest, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing now, promoting and booking the events, and I have kids that I have to make sure
Yeah.
I'm okay for. But if the right time comes, I'm not saying no. I just got to make sure I'm prepared for it. But
Trust me, I try all the time to get him back as quick as possible.
A tag match, right? So that, Sammy can do a lot of the lifting for you. I mean, that would be, I think that would work, right?
yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that I was gonna do back because I had actually taken the time off after COVID in 2020, and I returned in October of 21, and I was on a pretty good run. I was wrestling in AWA and Diamond Championship Wrestling, and a few other places along the coast, and that was around the same time that I got COVID, and it stopped everything. But that was one of our things we were going to do was tag, because he was fresh in the business after right out of high school. So,
Well, this will be you're right about Christian Blake. I've refereed for him for years. Him and Houston Carson used to have some battles with down in Homa for Elite, and Charles West is currently half the tag team champions with Vladimir Koloff over in AWA.
and Charles West is not one to be slept on either. He is phenomenal in the ring, always has been. Actually, me and Charles are former tag partners, former rivals, and we teamed multiple promotions and battled in multiple promotions, and he's one of my good friends. So I'm excited about this match. This is I build this one as a clash of styles because it definitely is a clash of two different styles, and actually two different but kind of similar styles. They both are very hard hitting. Should be I'm gonna say this multiple times. It should be a fun match. Like everything on this card should be really fun.
Looks like Rachel Hart is in our chat. She says they're going to be there Friday. So you already sold some tickets there with them.
Yeah,
Rachel is a big supporter of professional wrestling in
Awesome.
Mississippi and Louisiana.
Oh, well, she's already got it. She said they will be there. So,
Guys,
she has front row tickets. She's ready.
I like that.
Paul and Sammy, I was going to tell you, I don't know if you knew, if you look over on the side where it says private chat and comments, if you click the comments, you can read what the people are saying as we speak.
Because we have a live audience, and we thank them all for joining us tonight.
Okay, I see that. All right, appreciate it.
You just never know who's going to pop up there.
Yeah, we got Clayton Bloodstone versus Ray Fury.
How do I get back out of it? Hold on, just
Ray Fury is we've had Ray Fury on the show. Ray Fury's been Mr. Everything here through the South, and having success with the NWA now. And
yeah, no offense to Mr. Clayton here, but we're cheering for Ray. I am. I don't want to speak for.
There you go. You're already cheerleading from the booth.
Yeah, I noticed your shirt, Dave. I'm just like, don't even bring that thing up. We'll discuss that later.
All right.
So Ray Fury is actually the first ever Lost Art of Wrestling champion, and
okay.
For a long time we thought it was going to be the only Lost Art of Wrestling champion, because he was our champion when we stopped running shows back in 2020. But we decided to let him put that title on the line against Koloff at our return event, and Ray Fury means a lot to Lost Art of Wrestling. So as long as he's willing to join us, we're willing to have him.
Yeah. So did Koloff beat him?
He did, yes.
I noticed Koloff's head was bigger, so I figured that was what must have happened, is that he had to have won.
I think Koloff's head has always been the same size. It's just he's gotten a whole lot smaller.
You know what? That is very true. I've heard that. I know.
Yeah, he looks
seems
like a
very-
Russian bobblehead now.
Is that what it felt like when he gave you that?
Oh, I was so
Ball meal.
appreciative. I was so appreciative that he went on a diet. That cannonball hurt. It hurt bad. And it would have hurt a lot. It would have hurt a lot worse if he'd have been up over 300.
No
I took
kidding.
that cannonball. I took that cannonball when he was over 300 a couple of times.
Me too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I actually
Man.
had one of my favorite matches against Vladimir Koloff. It was a Russian chain match. It was, oh man, it was brutal, but it was fun.
He was a LAW.
Yeah.
What do we know about Clayton Bloodstone? I don't believe I've had the opportunity to work with him yet.
So, what little I know is that he is a hunter. That and his trophies are other wrestlers, and he is looking to take a piece of Ray Fury and add it to his collection. So, I know he's wrestled a few times for All Elite Wrestling, and I think I want to say he's been wrestling 5 to 6 years, all over the nation. And another guy with a bright future. And this match should be one of the ones to watch out for because it's really an unknown coming in here in terms of around in this area. I don't think he's ever
Sure.
worked in Mississippi. So
Making his
versus-
debut, huh?
yes,
Awesome.
versus one of the most well-known performers in the state. So
Yeah, he'll have his hands full. That's for
oh
sure.
yeah, oh yeah.
Wes Warren, who
Wes
is the
Warren?
zero gravity champion against your brother Sammy Wright.
Yeah, Sammy
You're
Wright.
gonna be in a fight. You're gonna be in a fight Friday night, Sammy.
Oh yeah, it's
You
gonna
can
be
take
fun.
him. You can take him.
Yeah,
You
Sammy
look
won.
so young. Like in this picture, you look 12. Is that your date? Because you just got. You said he said you were in high school. You just recently got out of high school, right?
I'm 22. I started when I was 16, probably in a mask.
Oh my goodness, y'all! My daughter's
Dave, we've had
22.
Wes Warren on, haven't we?
Wes Warren's been on our
Yeah,
show
we've
before.
had Wes Warren on before. He looks so young, but you still got him. I know you can do this. I have faith.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say Wes Warren has been on every Lost Art of Wrestling show to date.
Really? And this is for the
yes.
championship?
This is for the Zero Gravity Championship.
Okay, Sammy, you really you got this. You can do this. You can be a new champion. Would that be your first belt? Have you won a belt?
That will
before?
be my third.
Oh, okay.
I've had my eyes on that one for a while.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got plenty. He don't need to be champion no more. Okay.
Well, this will be a good matchup for
Heck
sure.
yeah.
And then we have a
Then
little
Pharaoh
partnership.
Funk.
Yeah, we have a little partnership going on this show with Battle Zone, who is, the oldest wrestling promotion in the state. They have been running since I want to say 2000, and used to up until
Yeah, they
I wanna
came.
s-
I think they sprang out of Capital City Wrestling.
yeah. Well, they were part of the NWA. If you go back and watch some of those old NWA TNA pay-per-views, you'll see the NWA Mississippi Battle Zone in McGee, Mississippi. They were in McGee for I want to say 18 years, somewhere along that, 17 years. And then they moved to Raleigh, and now they are running in Mendenhall, which is about 10 minutes from McGee. So why not do a little partnership? Pharaoh Funk is a guy who means a lot to me. I've known him since I started in the business, and he's going to have an open challenge for his Battle Zone Heavyweight Championship. So we're going to see who accepts that open challenge this Friday.
That's pretty brave, just to say whoever is back there, come on. That's someone who's pretty confident. That's awesome.
If you know Pharaoh, you know he's confident.
He's confident. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's really I mean, his presentation's pretty electrifying. The crowd generally gets behind him.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait to see who comes out. That's going to be exciting. Who takes the challenge? Oh,
And then the
Bloody
main
Daddy.
event. The main event needed more Koloff, and there it is.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this match. Like I said, this is the first time they've been able to wrestle in a singles match after being in the same area for so long. Fuego del Sol and Vladimir Koloff Fuego's from Alabama, and Koloff is from right around the same area, or he's grown up in that area as a fan. I mean, as a wrestler.
Right,
So,
because isn't he from like Siberia? And
oh,
that he
he's
likes,
from Russia. So,
yeah, one of those.
yeah, he's a character, right?
Yeah, I just picture him always like wrestling a Yeti or the abominable snowman or something up in the Arctic
And
Circle of Russia.
Yeah.
and I
But
recently worked with Fuego, and I hadn't seen him. I probably hadn't seen him in person since he was working at the Hideaway with Ego.
that's
And
where I met Fuego.
I had to do a double take. I mean, because he's jacked now
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
and so talented. So
Master
talented.
of the tornado DET. So
It is going to be like mass versus mass. That's going to be kind of cool.
You guys may want to check in the comments because the comments just got more Koloff.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, Vladdy Daddy. We do need more
Vladdy,
Koloff.
look at you calling him Vladdy Daddy.
He calls himself that too. It's Vladdy Daddy.
Sounds better when you call him that, though.
That's probably true.
I will tell you this: my little he'll be 4, like I said earlier, and his favorite thing to say is "Koloff sucks." So,
Oh, well, he needs to hear that too. Stay humble. I mean, again, remember how we talked about the ego? He very much knows he's pretty good.
I don't know if the big bad Vladdy Daddy was here earlier when Pondwater Dave was saying you're so small now that your cannonball didn't even hurt and he didn't even know it hit him.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
heard that.
He'll do another
no,
one.
I did not say that.
That
did
I
not
mean, watch the
say that.
replay, Vladimir. He no sold your cannonball.
Yeah, he did.
I like how y'all had to make something up, but you couldn't tell him that I said he looked like a big Russian bobblehead now.
Yeah. He
I
Actually,
also
mean, but one
that's
thing
where he
I
was
did
going
say,
with that.
y'all had to embellish.
I think you're
That's all right,
correct,
though.
Vladimir. We need to do another one.
No, one's enough. Like if I have to do one of those again, we're gonna stop this podcast.
Oh, well, okay. Never mind. We don't want to do that.
Oh, that was and I didn't know. I mean, I didn't give a lot of thought to it, Paul, but I kind of raised my knee up a little bit, and yeah,
That's
Oh.
not
that's what
good.
really hurt the worst. is-
Yeah.
You wimped out trying to raise your knees up.
He said
I'd like
two
to see
more.
you do it. I'd like to see you do it.
That's one move I don't
The
miss.
fans aren't clamoring for me to take one. Only you, Dave.
I don't
That's
think they were
right.
clamoring for me to take one, but
No, they were. Vladimir, he made it exciting to
I
see.
mean, I'm to the point on these challenges. Like, well, I don't care if y'all subscribe or not. I mean, I've got to take double chops at 400 from Camacho.
And we're very close.
Oh,
Very, very
I don't know
close
how I
to
let him
that.
talk me into this stuff.
I've seen you talking about Angel Camacho.
Yes,
Oh, I've seen him in person, and I wouldn't want to get chopped by that man.
I've already been
No
chopped by him
kidding.
once.
He took a single chop. Now he's
Yeah,
getting a
but
double.
he's not real proud of it,
Double
so he's been
chop.
trying to get me to do another one.
Well, I may have to share that. What are you trying to get to?
400.
We're trying to get to 1,000.
Well, yes, but
400
get
for the
your
double
chops
chop.
400 is the next little stunt.
on
Okay.
YouTube. Tell all your friends, everyone out there on YouTube, subscribe, like, click, comment, share with your
If you
friends.
want to see Dave's chest bubble up and a huge welt, please subscribe to Talking Wrestling. with Paul.
PWDpod.com will take you to our YouTube page.
There we go.
Plus,
That's
we
the
do lots of
subscription we're
fun
looking
stuff,
for.
So, TNA is subscribed
They've
twice.
subscribed twice.
I bet they have.
I like that.
Well, Paul and Sammy, so that's that event. Let's talk about, but you had an announcement.
Yes. So back in January of 2020, I mentioned that was our last event before COVID, and we hosted an event called Blast to the Future. It featured a ladder match that where the winner got a future title shot at the LAW Championship. Vladimir Koloff won that ladder match. He was a surprise entrance, and now, after more than 4 years, the event is back. On Friday, May the 24th in McGee at First Baptist Family Life Center, we bring Blast to the Future Part 2. And this event will be sponsored by Skinner Record Service, who is, one of our biggest sponsors. They have helped us out so much. But it will feature a 5-man ladder match for a future shot at the LAW Championship.
So if Vladimir loses, he can be in this ladder match.
He could
right?
be in
If
this
he
ladder
loses
match.
this Friday, because he says I'm undefeated in ladder matches over here. So
He
maybe
is.
if his opponent beats him this Friday, he's got the opportunity to do another ladder. He's not losing.
Right.
He said, I just said if, Vladdy Daddy. I said if you have an opportunity. That's pretty cool.
And on top of that, referencing back to some of these earlier matches that we spoke about. So now, Isaiah Zane versus Alex Cruz, the winner of that match will go into this ladder match on May 24th.
Okay.
And then the winner of Ray Fury versus Clayton Bloodstone will go to this ladder match, as well as the winner of Charles West versus Christian Blake. So we will find out 3 of the participants at the next event this Friday.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That is.
Big exciting things coming to Lost Art of Wrestling, McGee, Mississippi.
Oh yeah, and we're excited. We're excited to be back. This is our 3rd event back, and we're looking to do a few more throughout the year. We don't do monthly. We do every 3 to 4 months. This time it'll be a little over 2 months in between shows, but we have to make sure it's okay with our schedules, our personal lives, but also the wrestlers, and we also don't want to give too much. We want fans to want us to come back. So
Sure.
So we're
You're
super
not the
excited.
only guys that we've had on here that does that tri-state wrestling that we've had on here. They do it every 2 or 3 months, 3-4 months, something like that. So yeah, there's a lot of the guys that are doing that.
Well, guys, let's do this. Let's do this again when we get closer to Back to the Future.
Definitely.
Blast
Back to the future. Excuse me.
Copyright. That's what.
Yeah.
Be careful,
Blast
Dave.
to the Future Part 2.
Let's do this again when we get a little closer, and we'll do the whole episode. We'll do the whole episode about Lost Art and your journey through wrestling. Because like I said, I've known you almost 10 years now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I was kind of there with you through your Mississippi journey,
That's right.
Yeah.
wrestling journey.
Yeah, I think you were there for some of his early matches, and yeah, I mean, I've known you a long time, and you're one of my actually you are my favorite referee. So
That's kind of you to say. I appreciate that.
So
And
He's
Sammy,
not just
bring your
there.
belt, the one that you're getting ready to win. Make sure you bring it so we can see it when you come on next time.
I'll do my best.
and who
Sammy,
knows,
we
maybe
wish you
I'll
luck.
Maybe I'll take a bump between now and then and see how it feels.
You are going to be the special or the special unannounced participant of the ladder match, right? Or Dave. I heard Vladimir thinks Dave.
No,
could
Dave's
go in
not
there.
climbing ladders.
Well, I didn't say you
It's
had
well
to win. I
documented
just
that
said
I'm
get
an
in it.
elderly.
Oh, that's
I am
right.
an elder. I'm an
You are
elderly.
elderly.
Well, before you guys go, we want to wish Sammy good luck in his match
Definitely.
against Wes. We know you will do well, and screw him. We don't like him anyway, so
That's
we're
right.
rooting for you.
Indeed.
Oh,
Thank you guys so much.
Hey,
Thank
thank
you for
y'all for
having us.
coming, and well, I'll see you Friday night.
All right, look forward to it. See y'all later.
Thank you,
Bye.
Paul and Sammy Wright, everybody.
Yay! Awesome.
All right, and now.
Lord.
After watching that great video, getting us pumped up for our next guest by winning the Texas Rumble, he has become the #1 contender. We're super excited to welcome to the show the hero of the people, Mr. Aaron Eagle.
Hey, you're welcome for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Awesome.
I've been excited about it all week. I got my gear.
I like it. Good stuff, Dave.
I think his name is Benedict. I think you're like Benedict Arnold.
Sorry, you guys hear something? Getting some weird feedback. Let's cut that out.
Well,
she's in Kentucky. She doesn't get good service. Good.
There we go.
She's got perfect. Good. Get rid of Amber.
I got to bring her back.
I'm going to fight you, Dave, if you do that again.
You get to leave. You get to leave, Eagle. I got to stay here with her. How you been doing?
Man, I've been doing really good. I took a break for a really long time from wrestling, about 13 years, and coming back, I've been back for about 2 years now, and just had a blast. It's been a really crazy, wild ride, and this show we got coming up that you guys are advertising for, the Destiny at the Epic, March 16th. It's a big show, and I just know the energy is going to be crazy. It's going to be a ton of fans, ton of hype around this. I'm excited to be a part of it.
It's really a neat venue. I've been doing a lot of research about it because it wasn't there when I left Texas, and just the MPX is venturing outside of their arena to go to do something special. Kind of reminds me back in the territory days when World Class would leave the Sportatorium and go across the street to Reunion Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Every so often, it didn't hurt to go do something big and get more people in, and then maybe it's standing room only at MPX all the time, or a waiting list to get in. I know they're already pretty packed every week.
Yeah, they're definitely in their own building. They're packed pretty often to where there's no room. They've had to turn people away. This venue that they're going to be working in, they've assisted with hosting some Wrestling Revolver shows, which I was there for the first one when I wrestled Keith Lee, and the energy was just something else. So I'm really excited to be able to go back and to be able to see the event be a 100% strictly MPX event.
Yeah,
can we go into a little bit about where this venue is and what it is, just for the dumb fan like me that is a little behind?
Yeah, Jeffrey, I'll go ahead and share that with you. Essentially what it is, Grand Prairie has this huge sports entertainment complex in Grand Prairie that they built out. I want to say, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. I honestly didn't even know it was there until I went to the Wrestling Revolver show. I don't really venture that way too much. But I know I think they have like an indoor water park, a waterless water park, I think. I think they've got some rope climbing. They've got, huge basketball courts, and I don't know if maybe there's hockey or something there too. But the particular event that this is going to be hosted in, it's a big, semi-small stadium-looking area where they can host all kinds of different events. It looks like basketball is probably the big one that they do in there, but it's cool. I mean, it's got 2 stories to it with a huge balcony that goes all the way around, and they've got the concession stands up front, and a huge staircase that comes down from where you check in your tickets. It looks like a legitimate event. I've been fortunate enough sometimes to have some tryouts with WWE and TNA in the past, and it feels like some of those events. Probably more like a TNA event because it's not quite an arena, but it has that same vibe, that same energy.
It's going to be like a good homey feel with the people on top up top a little bit, and it'll be, I see.
Yeah.
And it's tucked halfway between Dallas and Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a bad drive if you're coming from Fort Worth to Arlington, the mid cities. You go or Dallas. It's just right down I-30. It's not bad. It's not a bad drive at all.
Yep.
And honestly, when I first heard about it, I thought maybe the venue in Grand Prairie that I don't remember what they called it now, but I thought that maybe they changed their name to the Epic. I didn't realize, because I knew Pro Wrestling Revolver had been going there. So I didn't realize that they had added another venue capable of housing something like that. So
yeah,
really excited for everybody involved, though.
Yeah, I think everybody's excited.
Will this be the biggest crowd you've ever been beaten in front of? come up?
It's not funny. To answer your question, no.
Trying to be funny. I was just making a statement because
Yeah,
Tommy
stop.
Becker is going to retain. I hate that
Okay.
for you because I do think you're really going to try hard, but
Wow, press that button again, Dave, when you get a second. Any minute now, okay? Amber, no, this won't be the biggest crowd. I don't know, maybe. I've heard that they've been able to pack at least 1,000 in there. If they get 1,000, then yes, this would be the biggest crowd that I've been able to perform in front of. So that'll be
lose in
exciting
front
for
of
sure.
same thing. Perform, lose.
We had some.
Right.
Oh God.
Such a hateful woman. Where'd you get her from?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. We have merch, and her merch is pucker up asshole, and that's her
Which was a
quote.
statement she made today.
But I'm gonna give you the backstory on that. This is my existence. Is I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I knew I was right. And she was telling we were arguing, and I knew I was right. So I told her, I said, if that's how it is, I will kiss your butt in the middle of an intersection and give you 20 minutes to draw a crowd. And then she goes, well, pucker up, asshole. And then she was proved wrong. To this day, never got an apology. Never got an apology.
I don't really know if I was wrong, but we'll digress.
She'll definitely be wrong this time. Tommy Belcher is definitely not going to retain that title. It's definitely going to be mine.
Are your sidekicks going to be there? Because I watched your match, on the first, and it was like sidekicks. Everybody's in the ring. You had a lot of interference. I mean, that was really the only way you won that match.
Interference. They were just trying to get a close look. Like all I'm doing is mentoring some of the younger generation. I feel like I'm doing a good deed. You know,
I think you're doing a very good job if they've got to literally get in the ring to be mentored. You know what I'm saying?
They're just excited. You know, it's the same way with the fans, trying to keep them from coming over the guardrail. Same type of challenges. You know, can't help it.
I bet.
Amy,
I
they
bet you
learn
do
by
have a lot of
working with
people.
their hands. They learn by working with their hands. You work with
That's it.
students. You know how this is.
You know what, Jim? I think you might be a sidekick in the making.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There we
Oh,
go.
goodness.
Hey,
Sidekick. We are not. I'm definitely not a sidekick.
Yeah, you're not allowed. That's fine. You're not even allowed.
I could see why there are lots of fans trying to come over the barricade over you. That's just me, though.
They want to get a closer look at the hero. I get it too.
I bet
They might do it once.
They might do it once.
James Shepard says he's doing hero things.
Doing hero things. That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah,
Well,
James,
you mentioned being gone for 13 years. Let's go back to the beginning though, because you were at PCW when I got there. As a matter of fact, what I would say would be the first independent wrestling show I ever attended.
Is that what he's also saying? Aaron Eagle, you're like ancient too. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm so hard of hearing. I'm ignoring you. Go ahead, Dave.
But
I'll talk louder. Don't you worry.
When the first independent wrestling show I went to, you were on, and I believe you were the PCW Uncut Champion at the time. So
was this before color television?
Oh,
I'm just trying to get like a help our audience. I'm just trying to get a lay of the land here. Was that before?
Yeah, it was on right after Gomer Pyle and Leave It to Beaver.
I'm an elderly. He's not.
I got you.
I'm not sure if Amy wants to compare age with Aaron or not.
But to be fair, that was 20 years ago, and I mean, you didn't look like you were old enough to shave, and you were in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, so from the beginning, I started when I was 16. I grew up in a small town, and freshman year we moved to Arlington, and that's when we discovered there was a little small independent wrestling, which I didn't even know was a thing. But as soon as I figured it out, my little brother and I quickly got hooked, and we're going to the shows. Standing in line one day, we were standing next to some guy who was in the school, which didn't even know there was a school. And he's telling us about it, telling us how hard it is, and we're asking, if we can get in or not, thinking we're pretty much talking to like a semi-celebrity. He's in the training school. He's essentially a wrestler, and so he offers for us to come to one of the training sessions on a Tuesday or something to meet the trainers, meet the coaches. So we show up, and I don't know if you remember Goo. Goo was the trainer at the time for the first couple months. He was there, and we asked if we could train. He kind of looked at us and was like, well, how old are you guys? So we're 13 and 16. And he's like, I don't know. You got any money? And I was like, yeah, I got a job, you know. He's like, well, you got the money. I guess you can do it. I don't care. And so they trained us, and that guy we were in line with, I think he lasted another week, and he was out because back in those times they were still trying to see if you really wanted it. You know, it wasn't everybody gets to stay. It was try to scare everybody off. And so my brother and I stuck with it for a while. You know, everybody thought it was kind of cool. You have these two kids basically training. Now there's kids training everywhere, but back then it was pretty rare. And so we stuck with it, even though they tried to scare us out of it. I still remember the chop night where they lined us up and they had all the big guys like the Mike Foxes and Eddie Atlases and Lance Hoyt. We had all those guys line up and just chop us until our chest bled to see if we were going to quit.
Luke Bronson went last on me. With
is that right? Yeah,
that big double hand.
Yeah, I forgot about that guy. He wasn't there at that time, but yeah, he came a little bit later on. So we stuck with it. About 8 or 9 months later, we got to be on our first show, which they just needed a couple guys to basically job out to. It was G Slice and JT LaMotta. G Slice now known as Wally Darkman, or formerly known as Wally Darkman. So we donned some masks and a black shirt and black tights. And the funniest thing was my first match, super nervous. You know, we're really on edge. And right before we go through PCW's version of Gorilla, I go to tighten my tights just one more time, and the drawstring breaks. And the whole match, the whole 10 minutes that we're out there, my pants are just falling down, and I'm, you know, embarrassed. And you can't tell I'm wearing a mask at the time, but that was our first match. And then from there, they thought that was cute, little kids wrestling. We'll make them Boy Scouts. And so we were the young pioneers, and we'd go out there and get a bunch of give the heels a bunch of heat for beating up on the little kids, basically.
I'd seen that. I didn't see it. I didn't see that in person. That was already behind y'all when I started going. But
yeah, we fully embraced it. I mean, we got the Boy Scout uniforms and the hats and the handbooks, and me and my brother came up with a secret handshake when we came out to get in the ring. We would do a buddy system and help each other in the ring. I mean, we went through the whole shebang. You know, we were really invested in it. It was some fun times. Problem is about a year later, I started, you know, looking a little bit older. It wasn't as believable, so we had to go a different direction. And that's when I became Aaron Eagle.
It would be a fun gimmick with that, though, if you guys could do finishes where you like had to rig up like, oh, we could do this if we win, and then like you guys create like you make something and then you win, and it'd be awesome.
Yeah, we had some really fun stuff. We'd always consult the handbook, like in the middle of a match. If we couldn't figure it out, one of us would go get the handbook out of the corner and read it, and then we'd try to do the move or whatever. It was really fun. I always thought it would be fun if we opened the show with just a tent in the middle of the ring and like a campfire set up, and that was like, you know, the open of the show, and you do kind of like a Chris Jericho. You know, Chris Jericho had his talking segment, or Kevin Owens has this.
Comes in and like crushes your tent.
Crashes it all. Yeah. I thought it'd be cool if we did interview segments as Boy Scouts, you know, dumb Boy Scouts, little kids basically asking questions, you know.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Kind of fun stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did Robert Evans have anything to do with that creative?
Believe it or not, no. But I think that's why he and I connected, is because he was always so creative that by the time I got out of that, my brother had, you know, he lasted about less than a year and he was done, and I kept going. But I think that's why Robert Evans and I connected, is because he's had very creative mind for this business. I have a very creative mind. I have a lot of fun. I'm not embarrassed to make a fool out of myself or anything like that. And so it makes it really fun to watch, I think. And so he and I clicked a lot.
That's very true. I've seen several of your matches.
Okay. I'd never seen any of your shows before this. That's interesting. You're pretty, I guess, uninteresting.
Yeah. Oh, I don't really know about
goodness.
that, but okay.
Got her there.
I'm so uncomfortable.
Well, Justin, he's also talking about you all. I mean, if he says that our show's uninterested,
I'm in the Aaron Eagle camp.
Hey, Justin hadn't been here, so.
That's right. I haven't been here, so I'm neutral.
Oh, that's true.
Not really.
That's true. That's true.
But let me ask you, while we're still talking about PCW, how great was that arena?
Oh man, it was so great. I didn't know what I had until I didn't have it anymore. You know, I wrestled primarily I wrestled other indie shows, so I was used to dressing in, you know, a closet or outside or whatever. But primarily, I would wrestle at PCW. That's where I had the most fun. It was weekly. Actually, I had twice a week, and so primarily, I'd stay there. I had a lot of fun there. When I took my break and came back and started wrestling a couple independents here and there, I was like, God, these locker rooms are terrible. Like when's the good locker room show up? And it doesn't exist. There's no locker rooms with an entire gym in the back anymore. Like that was a one and only. You don't get that back anymore. So PCW is something special. I mean, they're the backstage, the front of the house where they come and they check in and they buy concessions and merchandise, the seating, the way it was organized and set up. It was something cool.
It was just an old movie theater, and
Mhm.
and the stage to come out, they just took a sledgehammer and knocked a hole in it. So it was like a hole in a brick wall.
Yeah.
That let you go into the back, which was actual gym
Yep.
with a boxing ring in it.
Yep.
It was multi-level. It had bathrooms. It was such a great venue.
Yeah.
For pro wrestling. And he's right. I mean, for me, the PCW years are always going to be the most near and dear to my heart. I had such a good time training there, and then becoming a referee, and it was just, that the doing the uncut and getting to do the Friday night show was like the B show, but doing that show, it got to a point where the Friday night show was almost more interesting than the Saturday night show.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so they had uncut on Friday night and full throttle on Saturday night.
Yep.
And it's just such a good, and everybody that I worked with from PCW, I always get excited when my paths cross with them.
Mm-hmm.
So MPX is, to me, knowing that Richard's there, Palmer's there, Athena's there, Jamie's there, Cody's there.
Yep.
So
a lot of the old guard is there for sure. It's time for you to come back.
I'd love to. And I was embarrassed when Tatum pointed out that it had been 7 years that had been there that long, and I haven't been to the new building.
Oh man.
Last time I worked for him was 10 years ago, and it was in the old building where we actually had to move the weight equipment out of the way so the fans could sit around by the ring.
Yeah, I heard about that. I wasn't a part of it. That was at an old Metroflex gym, correct?
Right.
Okay, I'd been there. I'd never seen it with the ring in there before, but I've been to that gym, so I can't imagine how cramped that must have been trying to run a show out of there.
Oh, it was something though.
You're talking about Tatum Manning, right? The awesome guest we had last week.
I am.
Okay. Yes, I do remember him talking about that.
I have a
He's going to
question
be on
for
that
Mr.
show too, Destiny, right? He's on the show too.
I have
Yeah,
a question for
clarify.
Mr.
He's been
Eagle.
canceled. Just
Amy, please, I have a question for Mr. Eagle. Mr. Eagle, when you said you got into wrestling, what, 13? Is that what the number
oh
was?
no, I took a break for 13 years. I started in 2003.
Okay. How was your family's reaction when you told them you were getting into that?
It's funny you ask. I probably wouldn't have kept going if it wasn't for my dad. So growing up, I was not good at any sports. I have no hand-eye coordination, can't throw or catch to save my life. And I always quit a sport before I finished it. I didn't like getting hurt. So if I played soccer and I got kicked, I'm like, I'm out. This hurts. If I played football and I got tackled, I said, I'm out. I never actually played a game. I did a couple practices and quit. Anything that required some sort of physical contact, I didn't want to do it. I didn't like getting hurt. And so when I told my father, I said, hey, I'm going to try this pro wrestling thing. His response was, you're not going to do it. You're scared of getting hurt. You're going to quit. And hearing that, like this was, well, this was a dream, I was like, I knew I wanted to do this ever since I got, captivated by it. And so I was determined to prove him wrong, and so I went into the practices and the training, and it was really hard. And there were moments that I thought, this is more painful than I expected. I thought it was a lot more acting. And then certainly when we had the chop night and they chopped my chest to a bloody mess, I certainly wanted to quit, but I stuck with it to prove my dad wrong. So he didn't think I'd keep doing it. It probably took 20 years later. He's like, I'm shocked that you actually did it. I'm proud of you. I was always worried about you, that kind of thing. So that was cool. My mother was worried about us, but, fully supportive and all of that as well. So that, they were behind it. They were going through their own divorce. So they were kind of distracted. I think if they weren't going through that, they would have checked it out a little bit more and been like, you got to get out of this environment. But They
Well,
didn't.
I
They were
like your
distracted enough.
dad's react. I like your dad's reaction because most people's parents would be like, "I don't know if that's a great idea. There's not much of a fall back on plan there."
Yeah.
And your dad was like, "This, I'm going to use this as a challenge to my kid. Like he's quit everything else, so I'll challenge his ass on this."
Yeah. I don't even know if that was his motivation, to be honest with you, but it worked
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Well, when you mentioned chop night a couple times, so I know when you come home from chop night, your chest looks like hamburger meat, and you were probably bleeding through. It probably bled through. Did you get a reaction from your parents over being? I mean, because I know, I mean, I was doing it as a grown man, and I came home. I mean, my chest it looked like hamburger meat, and
Yeah.
my ex-wife was not happy about it, and it's to the point where I worked for my family. She called my uncle trying to get my uncle to do something about it.
Yeah.
So that was the chop night. The chop night is when the family got alarmed by it. They didn't
So
think it was as cool as I did.
it's funny you ask, what do they think when I got home? Because that's actually the first practice session my mother asked if she could come watch, and we didn't know it was going to be chop night. And
Oh,
so she shows up and says, "Hey, can I watch?" And the trainers were like, "I don't, as long as they're paying, I don't care." So she sat there and she watched them chop me to a bloody mess and chop my little brother to a bloody mess. She was horrified. So it wasn't waiting till we got home. She saw it live and
Oh my
in
God.
person. First time she'd ever seen any of the training was that night.
She was probably like Apollo Creed's wife in Rocky IV, like throw the towel.
Yeah, she was questioning whether we were really thinking through what we got involved in.
but I mean, he
But
mentioned Mike Fox and Lance Archer would have been enough. You know,
Yep.
did
Yep.
did she try to encourage you not to wrestle anymore, or did she like seeing you get smacked around?
Oh, Amber's so funny. I
asking.
want to say that she probably tried to discourage us, but we were so invested at that point that she knew if we were sticking through after that, then nothing she could have said would have stopped us anyways.
I just asked. I didn't know.
So then you returned after 13 years. You returned. Our paths crossed in Fort Worth in 2022. Parade of Champions that weekend. Not for Fuller IHW. You were the main event that night. I got to referee your match, and I was so excited to get to work with you after all those years, because I didn't know who was going to be on the card when I got there, and I hadn't heard that you were back. So what was the decision? What was the thought process about making your return after so many years?
Well, you probably have to go back to why I stopped. I had a couple pretty serious concussions that kind of scared me, and at the same time, I had just started having a family. The wife I had been married to at the time was not very supportive of pro wrestling, and so between the injuries, between becoming a father, and not really having the support system, it made it less fun. And so I just decided to stop, and I went completely dark for 13 years. I think the only guy I ever talked to outside of or from the wrestling business during that time was Robert Evans. To this day, we still connect every few months or so. But other than that, no one heard from me. I didn't hear from them. It was just done. And so fast forward, 11 years later or so, and I went through a divorce. The woman that I was married to opted out of the whole marriage idea, and so was going through the whole living on your own type of thing, trying to figure out the schedule with the kids. And so as I'd moved into my new apartment, my kids, as I'm unpacking things, they found my old tapes and DVDs, and I'm like, hey, these are cool, guys. These are things I've never really shown you guys because I stopped this. And so I put them in, we played them, and they were just like, is that you? It doesn't even look like you anymore. You look way different. You're bald and you got facial hair and your muscles are about 4 times bigger than what they used to be. And they just thought it was really cool. And so they were kind of talking to me and, saying they wanted me to get back into it. And so finally they, after it took some time, between that period of them trying to convince me after watching it, I had met someone else and told her, like, hey, I think I just want to do this one more time, just to say I did it, And so even though she was very hesitant, she was supportive. And so she said, well, let's see what it looked like to try it one time. And that's when I went to Fort Worth. David Full had a ring up inside of, I want to say it's like a comic book store, card shop type of thing. I connected with him. He said, hey, come on out. You can just, feel what the ring feels like again, because I hadn't taken a bump in 13 years. So I went out there, just kind of rolled around with someone for about 5 minutes, got the most winded I'd ever gotten I remembered getting in my entire life, and thought, well, that was kind of fun, but that scratched the itch. I don't need a match. I just bumped in the ring. That's good enough. But he said, hey, I've got a show coming up, which is the one you're talking about, Dave. And he said, I'd like you to come be a part of it, one more time. And so, again, my now wife was supportive but hesitant, and she said, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do it." Well, his show kept getting delayed further and further and further, and in between the delays of his show, Matt Palmer reaches out because he had started assisting with booking for a show called Red River Wrestling up in on the border of Texas and Oklahoma. So I went and wrestled there again, just planning on one match. I did the one match, and he asked if I'd come back the next month because they were running monthly, and I thought, I don't know, monthly, I could probably just do monthly. I'm sore and it hurts, but I'll get used to it. So 1 month became one time became every month, and every month became every other weekend, which became every weekend, and before you know it, I'm doing it all the time again. And so my wife is super supportive. She was very scared early on, and was concerned I'd get hurt and all that. And I'm sure she still is, but she's my number one fan, my number one sidekick. And if Amber shows up to the event, she'll probably drop kick her in the face, but she loves everything about it.
Yeah, you hear her hooping and hollering on the videos when you watch.
I'm telling you, she's his biggest fan, and it's great when and I've got that too. My wife is super supportive. I quit doing it. And after the first time I took my grandkids to a show, I told them, I said, I can't sit out here with y'all anymore. I got to get back in there.
Yeah.
And I actually work more now than I did before I quit. So.
Well, what's funny is before I'd actually wrestled my first match, I took the family to go watch an MPX show. And at that point in time, it was still being run by Stephen Kirby. And they had I think they had Hornswoggle on. Wally Darkman was making a one-time comeback thing for the match. So it was a big 8-man tag, I believe. And, the kids are asking, like, do you know that guy? Do you know that guy? Could you beat that guy? Could you beat that guy? And of course, yeah, I could beat them all. We didn't know about cancellations at that time, but yes, I could cancel them all. And it was interesting because the main event, they were missing like a fourth man or something on the babyface team. And they go, well, we have someone very special in the crowd tonight who's going to help us with this. And my kids are looking at me like, oh, yeah, they're probably going to have you go in there. And I don't think any of the guys even, except for Cody Cox, no one knew I was even there. And so they look over to the side of the crowd that I'm sitting in, and my kids are about to come unglued, like, Dad, you're about to go wrestle, And so it turns out they had a plant, had a fan in there that was one of the students who got to be a part of the match or whatever. But the kids, the rush you get of like the kids getting excited about, hey, that could be you. I was like, yeah, I got to go do it again. I got to at least once.
No, I noticed the one show that you came to work in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole family came with you.
Yeah, that's probably the reason I've never been back. So part of the deal was when we do this, they're part of it. Like it's not just the thing Dad goes and does. We're going to do this until we don't want to do this anymore. And so if the wife and the kids all say, hey, we're kind of sick of wrestling, then the wrestling bug, gets squashed, so to speak. But as long as we're all having fun, like that's what we're going to do. And so if I go, they go. And I think that's part of the reason I hadn't been back out there is because I think a lot of those guys ride together. And when you've got a family of 6, they can't ride together. It's just all of us together. That's it.
Yeah, we don't ride. Whenever
I like
we go,
how Aaron had to look to the side like he had to count to see how many was.
a carload. It's a bunch.
It's a bunch. It's a bunch.
Because but when we travel to shows, I mean, our time in the car together, we don't really mind the road trips. Now there's one show that I've been doing it's hard to drive to it and then make that drive home afterwards. Both of our eyes get pretty heavy before we get back. So we're having to we're trying to overnight when we can.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, for the most part, I don't
choice.
travel more than about an hour away. That doesn't mean that we're 100% completely unwilling to. I mean, if the money was right and the idea and the angle was right, consider it. But for the most part, you got kind of everything I need here in this area, whether it's MPX or CWF or some of these other small ones that run out of here. I'm having fun doing that. It's been a lot more fun wrestling for fun than wrestling to make it a career. I spent many years trying to make it, and it took some of the fun out of it, just feeling stressed and anxious all the time about, is my craft where it needs to be? Is my character where it needs to be? And who's going to be in the audience to scout me and find me and say, it's so much more fun to go tonight. I'm just here because this is my version of dad's playing softball on the weekend. I go and I just wrestle. I just throw people around. And that's so much more fun than wrestling with some sort of agenda.
How's CWF? How are you enjoying working for them?
I have a lot of fun working with them. Actually, their venue is probably the closest to the old PCW venue that you can find. They've got the whole split on the backside. They've got an extra ring. They actually have a 6-sided ring. They've got a 6-sided ring that the guys can get in and kind of walk through if they need to. They've got some gym equipment, a huge area to dress. You don't have to worry about going outside or anything like that. And then of course on the fan side, they've got enough to hold a good 300 people, I think, maybe 400. I could be exaggerating just a little bit. And they've got their concession stands and a cool ring entrance and all of that. So I have a lot of fun. They allow me to be pretty creative. Typically, if I have an idea, it's very rare that they'll shoot it down, to the point that I did essentially like a marriage ceremony to me and my championship on one show. I said, I've got this idea. I want to officiate it like it's a wedding. I had my wife. That's the only show I think she's ever been a part of. I had her hold the belt while I had her hold the belt while I read vows to the belt and kissed it and everything. I mean, the whole thing. And the fans hated it. They were like Amber. Like they did not like any of what I had to say. Very frustrated with it.
Shocking. People don't like to hear what you have to say.
Got a lot of heat. Got a lot of heat.
Right up there.
But I'm like you said earlier, Dave. I connected with Robert Evans because we just kind of have a different mind for the business. One thing that I can't stand about indie wrestling is typically if you're a bad guy, like, oh, you're a tough bad guy. And if you're a good guy, like, oh, you're a tough good guy. And that's about as far as it'd be. Like everybody's stone cold light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like there's so much more to offer in this business as far as character work and creativity. The CWF lets me do that.
You do that? I missed it. I'm sorry.
This lady's the worst.
She's low key. I bet she's watched you. I mean, she already mentioned that she watched your badge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She actually had the date and she watched it. So
yeah.
Well, I wanted to, I thought maybe I've been too hard. I mean, you did attack me on.
You started it.
No,
you started it.
I did not start.
You said, "Look at that stupid pose."
Well, hey, sorry, Mr. Super Sensitive. I didn't realize you were going to get so butthurt over that. And so, but you attacked me on Facebook. You said I was stupid, and you told me to fall off a curb.
That's fair.
And then one of these sidekicks, maybe Mr. Shepherd, somebody told me, "I hope you have indigestion eating Taco Bell."
I
think horrible things.
Called you out for being a serial killer, I believe.
Wait a minute. Now, Amy, are you familiar with that commercial that they're doing for Progressive whenever somebody says something and they throw the flag and they go to the replay?
What do you think you're going to do, Dave? I already know I said it was stupid.
Aaron Eagle doing his stupid pose on that right side.
Bless his heart, that does look stupid. I'll give you that.
Hey, you know he's going to be here in 2 weeks, right? Right, Amy?
Yes, I do. But I mean, I'm befriended Tommy here. I mean, that is.
I respect it, but I already know you're going to throw me under the bus for all this trash talk that you've done about him.
Look at all the people in this poster here. Put that back, Dave. Let's look at that poster again. Look at all the people in this poster, and the thing you point out is the quote unquote stupid pose.
Got doing a stupid move.
You got this guy over here on the right scratching his stupid chin. Okay. You got this other guy next to him with his stupid giant underwear. And you got the guy next to him with the, and then you got the guy here with the stupid butterfly on his chest. And then you got this other guy here who's basically like a real life LOL. Like that's and I'm the stupid pose.
First off, Tommy said it. I agreed. You're super sensitive. And then you attacked me on Facebook. But anyway, what I was saying is that I was like, I need to give him a fair shot. And I watched some matches and I said, nope, assessment was correct. So,
Oh,
Well, I hate to do this to you. Really, Angela, I hate to do this to you, but you are canceled.
Oh, you have been canceled.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't want, especially in front of all the kids that are probably watching, but you deserved it. All right.
I'm absolutely stunned.
Keep it up and you're going to go to timeout too. You understand me? I'm not kidding with you.
Hey, I was trained by Dr. Tom, so you better be careful. I mean, I had one session, but anyway, let's just leave it at that. But I did.
she got to get in the ring with Dr. Tom, and then she got to be a manager on the show that night. That was put together by David Crockett, Ricky Morton, Eric Bischoff, Jeff Jarrett, Kevin Sullivan. Did I miss anybody?
Nope.
And Aaron, as you might imagine, she was booed as a manager because no one
because I was a heel.
Oh, go figure.
I think you were just being yourself.
But she hasn't been fit to live with since then.
What is all this hate coming out all of a sudden because Aaron's here?
I think I have a couple new sidekicks.
Yeah, you can have them. About
we had a sneak attack plan this whole time.
Super
like, Amy's gonna
it's,
load
it's
up
a natural fit.
It really is.
Oh, Lord. That's right. Y'all can go be with him because he's going to lose to Tommy on the 16th.
Okay.
He's only been back. He's only been back. How many times have you been MPX champion now?
I've been one. Yeah, one time. I've been Addicts champion twice and MPX champion once.
How many times
So
have you
lost
been
3
champion,
times.
Amy?
That sounds about right.
Great point, Jeffrey. Great point.
Yeah, Jeffrey. Shut the hell up. How about that?
Oh. I got to tell you. We've got 67 people watching this.
I just want to say
people watching Amy get hers tonight.
We would have a whole lot more if you just kick her off the show already.
Well, I mentioned that there was a contract.
Lucrative, very lucrative.
And if I'm not mistaken, it says that she's the Aaron Eagle fan club member.
No, anti Aaron Eagle fan club member.
Is that what that is?
Yes, it's a huge.
She is anti any people in the Aaron Eagle fan club.
Anti Aaron Eagle fan club member.
Oh wow! Look at
You'd
that.
be surprised. I mean, you'd be surprised how big this fan club is.
Yeah, I'd like you to produce the names of those members. I don't think there's many.
What, Amy? I think you are so mean tonight because I think Aaron not only is a great wrestler, but he is a role model for dads everywhere. And you want to know why? When his children got in his closet, they found tapes of his old wrestling tapes. When I got in my dad's closet, I found very different tapes. This man is a role model.
Amy,
man.
I'm lighting a candle for you, Amy.
Okay, light me
a candle for you. And I don't know how you could be against Aaron Eagle.
I don't get it.
I'm a
nice guy.
Even his merchandise has got 1 Peter 5:7 on it.
Yeah.
And what is that? I know it's a Bible verse. What is that, Dave?
Give all your worries to God, for He cares about you.
Show me that piece of paper that you just read that off.
Careful. Angela's about to light up on fire right now. So be careful reading that kind of stuff around her, okay?
Oh, okay. Oh, Aaron. Oh, Aaron. How we will be joyfully laughing on the 16th.
I hate that I'm booked on the 16th because if I wasn't, I would make the trek to Grand Prairie, Texas. Just
me
to see
too.
this card.
If I didn't have somewhere to
card.
be, I would love to watch you get beat by Tommy Becker. But I'm pretty sure I could catch any of your shows and watch you get beat. So I'll catch another one some other time.
Well, you can watch him on Twitch, Metroplex
That's
Wrestling.
right. Oh, that's right. And then I can catch it in person. That way I can just replay it over and over again.
Oh my!
All right, keep talking. We'll see what happens.
I can't wait. Yeah.
I've already canceled Belcher before. I'll do it again.
I'm just worried that I'm just worried that we're going to have backlash at your treatment towards our guest, Mr. Eagle, tonight. But I mean,
happen.
I guess the upside is if they all start canceling on us, I don't have to take the double chops from Camacho when we get to 400 subscribers.
That's very true. That's very true. Well, I don't know.
If you guys can get extra 100 subscribers, I'll re-cancel Amber here.
Yes, you'll be canceled quicker than Kevin Spacey. I love it.
I don't know why you're kissing his ass. He calls you Jeffrey. He don't even call you your name. That's how much he thinks of you.
Listen, my name is Justin. I've answered to Jason, to everything all my life.
And I gave up cussing for Lent, and now I've done it twice on this show. I am going to have to light my candle. I have to light my own candle here. See, this is not nice. And my son is named Aaron. I love that name. And that's about the only thing I like about you is your name.
Because you started the canceling. And that's a lot. That's pretty innovative. I liked it. I liked how you actually used the A in your name and canceled. I saw that when you canceled her online. I was like, well, that's clever. And I remember when you were using a lint brush.
Yeah. Because I turned into basically like this preppy, snotty kid, rich kid or whatever. And so I brought out the lint brush to, wipe off anything that got on me, or if people touched me or whatever. I hadn't had the lint brush in a long time though.
Somebody in WWE had started bringing out a lint brush, and it popped up in my Facebook memories the other day because I posted that day that Aaron Eagle was greater than so-and-so with a lint brush.
Yep.
Because I mean, when I saw it, I'm like, well, Eagle was doing that. And he was doing that in 2005, 2006.
Yep. Yeah, I've noticed a few of my ideas seem to have migrated on over to somebody else. The lint brush, the Boy Scout thing. I heard The Rock say something in a promo the other night that I had used in the promo the night before.
And I'm sure he was watching you and got that.
Probably was.
Hey,
Yeah.
Don't you think for a minute that when you hear something new on WWE or AEW that they're not stealing it from the independent circuit?
Oh, for sure.
Yeet.
For sure.
I mean, Ray Fury can't say yeet yeet anymore because if he says it, everybody's going to think he stole it from Musso.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that a bad thing?
And he's been saying it for years.
If you start something and then the WWE gets a hold of it and then they give you a cease and desist.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's why our good friend Mike Dawkins is doing so much business.
I can't say much. I mean, I've tried to rip off some ideas. I had a shirt that was AEW, which stood for Aaron Eagle Wrestling, and the A was my logo. And so I've kind of played around with ripping off certain things too. It gets people's attention.
Well, I'm gonna have to. Where do you have any merch online, or is it just the events?
You could, I mean, any of the merch you see posted on my social media, if you just hit me up in my DM, I can ship it out to you or whoever's interested. But you typically would just sell it to shows.
I'm gonna have to have an eat, sleep, cancel, repeat shirt.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot. I don't know how many more of these we got though. We got the popular one we've got right now from the last batch is the. It looks like a Batman scene with like the city skyline, and then there's a the big spotlight, and instead of the Batman logo, it's got me doing the pose, and it says on the bottom.
Would you sell me that shirt?
And it says on the bottom,
"Oh,
I'm a poser." And then I've got another one.
Shirt. I'm buying you that shirt, Amy.
I was going to say, would you
that's her Mother's
sell me
Day
that
gift.
shirt, Aaron?
Yep, for you, $300, no problem. I'll get it for you.
It's a steal.
$300.
It's a steal. I don't give that deal to anybody. Okay.
Pesos. I ain't paying.
And then we've got another one that's a Sidekick shirt. It says remember, and the R looks like Robin's R from Batman and Robin. It says remember, even a hero needs ... And on the back it's Sidekick with like the comic book pow, blam, whap, or whatever.
Who is Mr. Shepherd, and why is he in the comments all the time about you, Aaron? Is he a sidekick?
I don't know if you've noticed, you're the only one that doesn't like me. You're the common denominator here. Everybody else thinks I'm great.
Yep.
I don't know about that, but
Mr. Shepard is a well-respected wrestling historian expert. Don't you know that, Amy?
Jeffrey, I think you are mistaken.
Oh goodness. Well, we're not going to keep you much longer.
Why not? This is
Yeah.
fun.
He's got 5 kids to take care of and a wife. I'm
And it's
trying
his
to count on my
anniversary.
fingers. He said 6.
It's his anniversary, and he's spending it with us. I saw that earlier today, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I may have should have done a better job of planning that.
Maybe I should offer to move the show to Thursday.
I may also be canceled after this is over.
For good cause, I would
Oh
say.
goodness. She's super supportive, though.
She is. Yeah.
Happy anniversary to both of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Do you have anything going before the 16th? I know y'all run every week.
Typically, but yeah, this coming weekend, we actually took the weekend off, taking the kids and going to do some manly camping, teach them how to be men and be outdoors and all that good stuff. A little solitude and escape before I canceled Tommy Belcher.
Really, what are you going to do this weekend?
You guys heard me right. That's all that really matters.
Amy, he's a man, such a man. He's taking his kids on a manly camping trip.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Hey, he's living the gimmick. You heard him say he was a Boy Scout once upon a time.
Got to go back to the roots.
So catch Aaron Eagle March 16th at the Epic in Grand Prairie as he challenges the MPX champion, the Tommy Becker.
And loses.
For the MPX Championship, where he will start his second reign. He's your hero. He's my hero. He's Justin's hero. Safe to say he's not Amy's hero. I think secretly he is. But she's mean girling him for some reason.
It's been an honor for me to meet my hero tonight, Dave.
Oh my God, I'm gonna vomit.
And
Jeffrey.
Aaron, you're welcome to come back anytime that you want to. You have an open invitation. You have something you want to promote. Got something big coming up. I'll have you on in a heartbeat. Hopefully, I'll be in the ring with you again before you're finished. Before I'm finished. I always love sharing a locker room with you. You're one of my favorite people in wrestling. You always have been. I've always thought the world of you. And,
do you owe him money or something? What in the heck, Dave? Lord.
All right.
Hey, Dave, no, I really do appreciate it. You're one of my favorites too. I was glad to see you in Fort Worth when we coincidentally ended up on the same show. And I'd love to come on any other time. Just don't bring the transient. Okay. As long as that person's not here, we're good.
All right.
I'm sure I'll have a massive headache when I hear your name on the schedule.
You can tell everybody where they can find you before we let you off.
Oh gosh, this is really a job for the wife. So I'm on Facebook. You can find me pretty easily. I'm like the only Aaron Eagle there.
Except for today when we had a national Facebook shutdown. We're good now. You can find him again.
I also have an Instagram, which I have a TikTok and an Instagram. I don't know. She's here. Type in Aaron Eagle something. You'll find it. And I'm not hard to miss.
You have a Twitter?
Yeah. I don't have a Twitter.
Okay.
He has
I'll tag
channel.
your socials on everything else because there'll be clips of this, and I'm glad to hear you're on TikTok. I'll be able to tag you in all those.
Yeah, I'm more interacting. I interact on Facebook a lot, and then I have a YouTube channel where anytime you're curious of what I did the weekend before, I usually post it pretty early. So all my promos,
how his sidekicks help him cheat and win. I watched that one today. Just so y'all know.
I'm going to predict by the end of the year that Amy will be an official sidekick.
Yeah, Amber, the boys are talking now, okay? If you just can be quiet for a moment. So what I was saying was, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see anything that I've done, promos, videos, matches, whatever, and it stays pretty current. So enjoy the content that's there.
He's very active on Facebook. Don't say you don't like something because he'll make you pay for it. He's super sensitive.
So everybody go over to YouTube and subscribe to Aaron Eagle's YouTube channel. Subscribe to ours too. We know how y'all are. I have videos that'll have 6,000 views, 331 subscribers. I mean, we're begging. We're just begging. Click subscribe while you're there. It don't
Just hit
cost
it.
anything. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend with your family. Good luck on against Tommy Becker. Most of us are pulling for you. And
All
we'd
right.
love to
Thank
have you
you.
back again.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Aaron.
Have a
Bye,
good one.
Felicia.
See
The
you,
hero
Dave.
of the people, Mr. Aaron Eagle.
See you later. See you, Jimbo. See you, Dave.
Take care.
Jimbo's my favorite one, he said.
Both y'all kiss my ass. I want y'all to know that right now.
Hey, don't
Man,
invite
I've
people to your house if you ain't at home.
I mean, talk about some turncoats. My goodness, I have never in my life. That's
Oh,
okay.
look at that
I'm
dumb
glad
pose. Look at that dumb
it
pose.
is exactly. I see how y'all are. That's okay.
Now that
That's
he's off, I'm on Amy's side.
Oh, goodness. Such a good guy. He really is.
I've
I lo-
yet to see it. I'm sure I guess as long as you don't say anything remotely to hurt his feelings, and apparently it could be anything. So you got to be very careful around him.
So kind of like when we say something ugly to you.
What?
So what you're saying
Yeah,
is
where
that
did we get the
sensitive,
pucker
you're
up
sensitive
asshole
like Aaron
comment
Eagle.
from?
That is because Palm. Again,
All the great ones are sensitive. All the great ones are sensitive.
well, you just said I was sensitive, so maybe I'm a great one too.
You're
so.
welcome. You're welcome.
Oh my God, this Mr. Shepherd.
Are we doing trivia?
Oh yes.
Okay, that's what I
Because
thought.
Hey,
Well, I
but-
gotta
but-
pee,
but-
so I'll be back. Talk amongst yourself. Do a commercial.
You got a Virgil story, or are we good?
Oh, for me, Virgil, before I go potty, uh, Virgil, man, was a part of my childhood. The whole Ted DiBiase gimmick, that's when I started watching wrestling, was 88, 89, 90, 91. When Virgil finally turned on Ted, that was like a huge thing for us little slapdicks growing up watching, the golden era WWE. I know what Virgil, became later on in his life, almost a joke to people because of his no lines and things like that. But, looking back at his life as a bodybuilder and a guy that really deserved better, he never got a fair shot in the wrestling business after the Virgil gimmick, which brought him so much fame, but also kind of flushed him down the toilet afterwards. So kind of feel bad for him and hate that he passed away.
All right. Well, I got the chance to do this photo op, and it looks like, I wanted to get my picture taken with Ted DiBiase.
how long ago was this?
This was 2008.
This was the beginning of Dave's gray hair. Look at that.
But I wanted Ted DiBiase. I didn't want Virgil. Virgil walks over, grabs my hand, and look at the look on his face. He's like, yeah, I photobombed your photo op with Ted DiBiase.
He totally did. He just jumped right in there, didn't he?
And look at the look. I mean, I was pissed, and not just a little bit. But
that's not a resting bitch Dave face. I don't know.
No
what
kidding.
But later on, I got my picture taken with him, and I used to go by and I'd do something at every show that he was at. Because let me tell you about him. He's a throwback. He's throwback. Wrestlers are carnies.
Oh,
and
Lord,
that man
yes.
was a carny, and he would work. He worked harder than anybody at those shows to get you to buy a picture, to get you to take a picture. And some people were put off by that. And but I'm like Justin. I remember when he was with Ted DiBiase, and then Ted DiBiase started mistreating him, and the build up to where Virgil turned on him, and Virgil was as over as anybody at that point. And then of course, then they all went to WCW, and then they made him Vincent, and you know, that was kind of obvious because then when you realize that Virgil was a poke at Dusty,
Right.
Vincent was a poke at Vince, but I mean, the dude wrestled.
Right.
He came up through the system, made it. He made it in WWE. He wrestled at WrestleManias. He performed in front of millions of people, and
And he was part of 2 of the biggest angles. You talk about, with Ted DiBiase, the whole selling the belt, then having to do the tournament, to crown a champion, and then the NWO. He was part of the NWO, which is pretty. I mean,
And I just want to
Yeah.
say he gets extra points from me because he was a part of one of Bret Hart's Survivor Series teams, along with Jim Duggan, and they all had 2x4s.
So,
awesome.
but I mean, God bless him. He'd been sick, and he's not suffering anymore. But he's gone too soon, and he's getting meat sauce and breadsticks now on the regular. And I'm hoping, the last 2 weeks we've started our show with 10 bell salute. So hopefully we're done for a while.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. That was horrific. Me laughing. I wasn't laughing. I don't know if you saw one of the comments.
Well, I went and looked because I thought, God, she's evil. She is evil.
Yeah, no, I felt completely evil in the comments. Someone said,
I was actually scared. I was actually scared when I said, I hope we don't have another 10 bell salute next week. I was afraid that you were going to say, well, unless it's.
Oh, Lord, no. I would
And then
never.
I had 2 candles. Then I had 2 candles ready for you.
No kidding. I'm sorry. That I'll.
But God bless Virgil, and
Yes.
we hate it. And
someone put in the chat, so if Jeffrey's taking us to the bathroom with you.
But and Virgil's one of the $1 million champions, and there's not a long list of it, but he's in good company with both DiBiase, Steve Austin, and him. So,
I was
you know
in
what?
the kitchen, thank you, Terry.
He made it in the wrestling business, and in a business where like maybe 1%. Think about all the ones people. He wrestled for WWF and WCW. So I mean, again, he was
on. He had more eyeballs on him. He had more eyeballs on him than any wrestler on television will ever have on them.
All the
there'll never be that many people watching those shows again.
Oh, exactly. All the
Twitter
event,
marks, all the Twitter marks online that make fun of Virgil would give their PP and their things under their jiggly bits underneath to wrestle at WrestleMania, so they can all shove off.
And he got to be on multiple.
He had the $1 million belt, and unfortunately, he didn't get the chance to hold a big time belt. Big time belts, y'all. You got a wrestling promotion? Are you sending your champion to the ring and with a less than belt? It's a toy with y'all put some stickers on. Have a little pride. Upgrade. Big time belts will give you high quality and low prices. Belts the same quality as what you see on television. The Pennsylvania Grand Champion uses big time belts. Here's some of big time belts custom work. Somebody is the Las Vegas champion.
Oh, cool.
I like that the rubber ducky on the side plate that says Ducats. Then we have the AMW Championship. My good friend Tim Robinson promoted AMW.
Yes.
One of my favorite shows that I ever worked on in Texas. Great memories. You've heard many of the names that were mentioned with Aaron Eagle performed for AMW. He never had his own belts, and because of big time belts, his dream of having championship belts for his now closed down promotion, he has them. And spoiler alert, he's got a light heavyweight belt coming. And I've seen the artwork for it. It's tremendous. He actually took a little input from me on the artwork.
I like the white. I like the white a lot. It pops against the red,
Yes.
with the flag. Like, I really do like that. That looks really nice, Tim.
And then I think that's a HCW, HCM, that particular font. I don't know. I should have just faked it and said something. Y'all wouldn't have checked me. But it's a beautiful belt, and I love that backing on it. That backing really pops. The Manchester Player of the Week is to strut ass around campus carrying this belt.
Strut ass around.
Yeah. You don't think he's walking around?
Hey, if I would have
looking at the cheerleaders saying, "Hey,
if I would have
ladies,
scored
the
20
champ is
points
here."
in a basketball game and they gave me that belt, I would have strut ass around campus that week.
There
There's
you
no
go.
doubt. I would have been smiling and profiling.
Ooh, I like that blue.
GCW,
Pretty.
in conjunction with the Mississippi Seawolves, Gulf Coast Wrestling.
I like that too.
And I love it. I mean,
what I like about it is how it's not just a circle and it's got different like things on the front of it.
I
Like
mean,
that.
so you can see it's not just your traditional belts. Your custom. I mean, if you can dream it, we can make it at Big Time Belts.
Yeah.
The 814 Grand Tag Team Champions. Look at that. That croc backing, the blue croc backing.
I like that too. They're all very unique. I mean, like you said, all the belts that are being produced, they have some kind of twist or something that's very unique to that particular promotion, and I think that's really cool.
And this is his masterpiece. To me, this is the finest belt that he's made for a promotion.
I like
the PCW Championship, not the PCW that we referenced earlier in the interview. This is Palmetto Championship Wrestling. This belt is multi-layered, multi-pieced. It is a work of art.
I love
look at that. Look at that. If you're watching on YouTube, I've got a close-up of look at that center, that medallion on the center with that stone. And I mean, you can see the layers.
Can you pull it back out, Dave? Because I just want to see it all again. What I love about that looks like
I got 5 kids, Justin. I don't pull out.
Oh, that looks like what a new modern belt should look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that looks like a new generation, like futuristic belt, not like the old school kind of gold plated belt.
I mean, if he could show up to a belt contest, WWE, TNA, AEW could show up with theirs, and this guy's going to be best in show probably. I mean,
I like
that's
the colors.
an impressive belt. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, very much so.
And he didn't pay as much as they pay for their belts. Big Time Belts, go to facebook.com when it's working. Look up Big Time Belts, join the group, and we will make your belt dreams come true. High quality, low prices, and we want to thank Big Time Belts for sponsoring our show.
I think Big Time Belts needs to give us a double check because that's the most we've ever sold Big Time Belts. But man, that belt at the end was super cool.
Pretty nice.
I got tickled at him. I visited with Mr. Zubair the other day, and I was asking him, was he getting any feedback from the commercials that we run on our show? He goes, no. And I'm like, well, what about Tim? Oh yeah, everybody mentions you. And I said, well, they're hearing it from our show. I'm not calling them up on the phone saying, hey.
Dave's going through his black book. Hey, I didn't know if you knew about Big Time Belts.
I mean, he's giving me credit. I mean, he's giving me credit that he's getting a lot of orders, but he didn't realize that it was the commercial. He thought I was like
cold calling.
I'm knocking on doors.
You should have said, start counting how many say my name, and then we'll talk some more.
Heck yeah.
Oh goodness.
Well,
before we get to trivia, anybody watch AEW this week? Sting's last match.
Yep.
I did not.
I did.
I thought it was a great pay-per-view. I can nitpick some things. On this, but from a fan's perspective, just from what they watched, I thought that it was a very good. I mean, Will Ospreay and talk. I've been saying take a shitter for so long. I don't say his name right.
I know. Well, thanks to Jim Cornette. That's what everybody says.
I didn't get it from Jim Cornette. I sounded it out.
Oh, that's what Jim Cornette says too.
Yeah, me and him about the same age, so.
I did not like the glass. spot with
Yeah,
Darby.
I did see a picture of his back. I did not watch it, but I did see
Well,
that part.
I did not like it because it went into the audience.
Well, it was sugar glass,
I don't.
but
Are
it
you
was stupid.
sure?
Hey, let me tell you something. Okay, nobody wants to hear me praise this pay-per-view, and I will sit here and praise it. I thought it was very good.
No, I thought it was good.
I thought
was
it was
just
good, but for one, a Texas tornado match means all 4 men are in the ring at the same time.
right. We know they don't.
I don't know
follow
when
rules.
Texas tornado matches graduated to being a hardcore match.
Right.
And we all know that I think if you're in even a hardcore match or a Texas death match, you use what's around the ringside area. They had sheets of glass.
Right.
Now, Darby, you couldn't lay one of the bucks on the glass because it would have shattered. It's sugar glass, y'all. Everybody knows that. I don't like that it goes in the crowd either.
Yeah.
But why'd you pull the buck out of the way? I don't know. I call them Buck 1 and Buck 2. I couldn't pick them out. I couldn't.
Matthew and Nicholas.
I know their names, but I couldn't tell you which one's which.
Right.
I mean, and no disrespect to them because of that. I mean, the Usos are much more popular, and I can't tell you which ones. Most time, I can't tell you which one's which either. But what I'm saying is, you pulled the buck out of at first, the camera didn't even show that. It just showed him dive off onto the glass. And I'm like, why? Why did he do it?
Right.
And then I saw where he pulled his brother out from in front of it. But I wouldn't have kept showing the replay because the replay clearly shows it. He could have stood there because she was going to clear him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't make any sense to me that we did that. I think he takes way too many risks. And I don't care who takes offense to it. And if it ever kept me from being a referee in professional wrestling again, he's a glorified stuntman. And it's easier to pop the crowd doing dumb shit like that than it is to work. Get in the ring, grab a hold, learn how to work some emotion instead of, I mean, heck, he won a match one time and then he got on the top rope and did a backdrop on the coffin for no apparent reason. Like, oh, so you either why? Are you going to show us that taking a backdrop on the coffin is just bullshit anyway?
Right.
So,
well, yeah. I was going to say, for Sting's last match, I feel like it took away. I mean, like it wasn't necessary.
It gave attention to stuff that people would remember when we needed to remember Sting's last match.
But I thought for the match, the Young Bucks are much better in no rules situation because they ain't following them anyway.
True.
I was so pissed off and I thought it was a good match with the Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR.
Oh, me too.
You ended the match with all 4 men in the ring. It was a regular tag team match.
Right.
The main event is a Texas tornado match where all 4 people are supposed to be in the ring. But you geniuses started the thing out and ended the damn match with all 4 men in the ring, knowing that all 4 men in the ring were going to be in your main event. And then you did not 1, but 2 trying to kill somebody with top rope spots. And then you focused in on Will Ospreay's back just to show how bad they are at their jobs. Because it's not supposed to hurt. The lost art of wrestling is wrestling without it hurting. These guys don't want to do it without it hurting. That being said, I loved it. No buyer's remorse on that pay-per-view. No buyer's remorse on that pay-per-view. I'd give it a solid 4 jars out of 5. I enjoyed it that much. I
just want to ask if this is right. Andrew Hermes gave us the Webster's Dictionary phonetic spelling of this man's name, and he says it is Takeshita. Would
Yes.
that be the correct way of saying it?
Takeshita. Yes, I do believe I've heard Don Callis say that.
It's Takeshita.
Okay.
I think I heard it too, but like I said,
It's very hard not to.
I've been saying it. I've been
sound
saying it the
out.
other way for so long. It's kind of like Luke Bryan. I've hated Luke Bryan so long now. I don't even remember why I hate him.
You hate Luke Bryan?
Yeah, and Amy is no longer the first lady of the Sid Vicious fan club. That was her punishment. We had a Super Bowl bet.
Yeah.
And she
Thanks,
had to
49ers.
If I would have won, if she'd have won, I would have been on here telling everybody that Luke Bryan was the greatest country singer of all time, and we'd have ended every show with my Luke Bryan song of the week. Luckily,
I'm glad that didn't happen.
That didn't happen, and
This close.
Amy had to become the first lady of the Sid Vicious fan club, which I love because if you don't know, Sid Vicious and Arn Anderson were stabbing each other back in the day. So
yeah, there was a little incident.
yeah, there was
Amy's boy then almost got murdered.
Paperwork filed.
Exactly. Yeah, really.
So that's
guys, I want to try to watch AEW, and I did try for a long time. Just in this last year, I have completely pulled out, and even Sting's last match couldn't pull me back in. It's just been bad, I think. And WWE's been so good for the most part. I don't watch that every week by no means, but when I do watch, I want to watch that. I don't want to spend my wrestling time watching AEW.
Well, I'm not criticizing. I'm criticizing Darby Allin. That's how I feel. Don't you say that I'm like Jim Cornette? I'm not like Jim Cornette. I'm a 58-year-old man that likes wrestling and not just doing shit to be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad to see Lance Archer back in there.
Mm-hmm.
Lance Archer had a great showing in that match. They got some great people. Y'all know I love Jeff Jarrett, but I thought the girls did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, they did a great job. They did Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's a star, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Like
a lot
of the stuff I complain about, I wasn't even noticing it. I was so into what they were doing. And if you can go back and find it from the G1 in Dallas, Will Ospreay wrestled Lance Archer, and it was an incredible match. That was when I was first introduced to Will Ospreay, but now he's put on a lot more size. I'm telling you, AEW. Samoa Joe. Love Samoa Joe. I love Swerve. I like Hangman TA.
Hangman TA. I'm not a fan of Hangman. I don't know. He's just very stale.
I don't want him to win. I like him. I like him as a bad guy because I don't want to see him. But Swerve, man, Swerve is it. Swerve is it.
He needs to.
I love Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's a very, very believable champion. Christian. My God, Christian's doing great work.
Yep.
Christian had never been interesting to me ever. Mm-hmm. And he is doing the best work.
Here's my point, Dave. And I went to the first AEW pay-per-view after COVID down in Jacksonville. The first wrestling pay-per-view after COVID. It was fantastic. Like I said, I was enjoying a lot of it. The booking has just went to the toilet. And if you're talking about Christian Cage, a man that was out of wrestling, done, sitting at home, coming back, and he's the best person on that show with his storylines, that's showing me that he's so good at what he does. He's pulling something out of what they're giving him. But some of these guys can't do that, and it's hard to watch for me.
Oh, well, yeah. And the things that I described during the pay-per-view, there's agents are supposed to make sure you don't see the same spots in every match.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you've heard me go off. I've been on a show before where somebody came in and a tag team and they went for the pin, and the partner actually put his hands on top of his partner. And I was mad at myself because I counted the 3 and I shouldn't have. And the reason I didn't is I didn't know if they'd know how to recover if I didn't count to 3 at that point because they were still green. But it made me mad, especially since there was a Texas Tornado tag team match on that show.
Right.
And so when I saw that, I'm thinking, it's not uncommon. They don't count. Like somebody stood out on the apron and the referee just stood there and looked at him. When you going to start counting to get him back in?
Yeah. It's just, I
It's
think
that technical. It's that technical eye. I'm watching it like a referee.
Well, yeah.
And just things that maybe the average fan doesn't see. That's probably why. And I come off looking bad that I'm being a hater, which I'm not. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them do well. They got talent. They got so much talent there, and I'm hoping with old girl that they hired from WWE, that writer. I don't know her name, and I apologize. I'm hoping that maybe we'll see
Peterson?
those different. Yes, something like that. Pepper.
I honestly think they're
Pepperson?
going to continue to not grow an audience as long as they keep doing pay-per-views as their main, special live event. They're the last ones doing it. It's not going to get bigger. Where they're at is where they're at.
It's hard to make a $50 commitment a month on that.
Yes.
To that.
Yeah.
Especially when you got Peacock.
When you're paying $50 for 80 streaming services a piece.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see him eventually maybe get it into Honor Club or maybe his next contract, he sells that content. He sells that content to like a Peacock, like the WWE's doing. They realized doing their own thing was they made a lot of money, but it wasn't what they thought it was. But they sold it to Peacock. They're selling it to Netflix. That's the way to go. I mean, that's what their merch is going to Fanatics.
That's what I'm saying.
How much you going to pay us to sell our stuff? So, but
I don't
the bottom line
the
was
problem is I think they've stalemated it out to where I don't think they're going to get big enough to be able to sell that.
It just sounded like, we'll see.
I feel like we're getting into that territory with Vince, an audience of one. Like things are being because he's the booker, Tony Khan. He's putting out things he likes. Obviously,
he's booking his fandom 100%.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that then now we're kind of getting into what we didn't like about WWE.
And I think where the downfall started for me and where I started seeing a lot of things being affected is when you had the fights backstage and people leaving and people getting tired and it just showed almost a lack of direction and a lack of leadership in my opinion.
Well,
and I think that has kind of spread since.
The difference between AEW and WWE is that WWE would have took that and would have got it out in front of the crowd.
Or they wouldn't have had it. They would have had
everybody would have been professional and they'd have gone. And while they had a personal issue, they would have put it in front of the camera instead of that's. But hey, if I was a billionaire and I had my own wrestling, it'd be the same thing. I would be booking my fandom.
You mean if your dad was a billionaire, you would be booking your...
But I mean, I would book my fandom. Over the top rope wouldn't be legal.
Right.
I mean, we'd be doing old school stuff.
And you'd be Smoky Mountain Wrestling redo.
We'd had 600,000. Well, for one, I wouldn't be dumb enough not to call Jim Cornette and ask him how to do it.
Heck
yeah, no shit.
Let him have at it.
Anyway, let's play trivia. What are we doing tonight, Amy?
Well, you know what? Since we had Aaron Eagle on, who was the worst guest, or worst person I've ever met, I thought we'd talk about the worst WrestleMania. I actually asked some people.
Wait a minute. What do you mean the worst WrestleMania?
WrestleMania 2.
Oh, I thought, okay.
What do you think?
Well, if I had to, I do think WrestleMania 2 ranks. I don't know if it's necessarily the worst, though. I think WrestleMania 11 was pretty SHITTY.
Well, I asked our group, and so that was the. I mean,
okay.
That was the one.
Well, yeah, I can understand it
that way.
I think, yeah, I get it. Go ahead.
So we'll talk about. So that's what I went with, WrestleMania 2. Since we're in our WrestleMania 2 or WrestleMania season anyway. So
WrestleMania 2.
All I can remember
really
about WrestleMania 2 is I was excited that King Kong Bundy was going to be against Hulk Hogan. Because King Kong Bundy came from World Class, so it was seeing one of my World Class guys in a main event position.
It is pretty cool. Well, and if you think about it, this was the second one. Like, this was still a concept that they were still
Mhm.
working with, and obviously they found this did not work, so they did
All I
something else.
remember as a kid when I went to the video store to watch these for the first time, I got
Uh-huh.
WrestleMania 3 first. I got WrestleMania 1 next, and I watched WrestleMania 2, and I could not wait for it to be over. It
No
was
kidding.
so
Yeah.
bad.
That's quite the way to go. All right. Are we ready to do trivia?
Yep.
Excuse me. Excuse me. WrestleMania 2 is the only WrestleMania that did not take place on a typical weekend night. What day did it take place?
I know this because
So
Efren
sorry.
was there. Let me think. He told me he's gonna be mad if I get this wrong.
If it helps, it was April 7th, 1986.
Oh God, let me go back in my calendar.
Exactly.
Um,
Are you Rain
I,
Man?
I
Can you do that?
I think it was for sure a Monday or Tuesday, and I want to say it was Monday.
Dave?
Was it Easter weekend?
I don't know.
Man, for some reason I want to say it was a Tuesday.
That I was locked in on those two, but I just remember Efren telling me this like last week on the phone, and I think he said Monday.
Justin, you're right. It was a Monday. I don't know. That would be an interesting to know if it was because it was Easter weekend or why they decided to do that. If all three venues were available at that time, I don't really know. But it was a Monday.
Yeah, you got
Our
to
good
think they did
friend,
have to match up the venues and being able to use all three at the same day.
Yeah.
our good friend Lance Peterson from the World Class Cast said, Dave, how did you watch Mania 2? It's the only one I couldn't get at home and went to the ballroom to watch. Lance, I think I want to say that I didn't watch it live.
Dave
I
didn't give a shit. He was still into the free
I know I've
version.
seen it. I knew I've seen it, but I don't think I could get it on pay-per-view either. Because I remember
Probably not.
with one, we had Cube Cable, and with one, I had to go to with WrestleMania 1, I had to go to the cable company. I had to pay a deposit for them to give me a box that I took home and hooked into my television.
Right.
To watch WrestleMania. And then I take the box back to get. We have an emergency. Talk amongst yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Um.
Oh, Dave's bowels are giving out again. When you get
Oh
that age,
no, I think
Amy.
it's the dogs.
Don't chew on my Ric Flair shoe, I'll kill you.
Poor little Bucky. Their dog apparently is being a dog, and now they have an emergency.
Bucky is now a little bit older than a puppy, which means he's in his terrible 2 stage of puppydom.
No kidding. Beat that poor dog.
I'll kill him.
Aw.
I'll kill him dead.
Aw.
I'll be like Dr. Evil. I'll have that some bitch stuffed, and I'll just be.
Poor little Bucky. All right.
I looked over and he had one of my Dame 7 Ric Flair tennis shoes in his mouth.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Well, to be the man, you got to beat the man is what he heard, so he was going for it.
Yeah. All right. Number 2. How many matches were there total at
Oh, too
WrestleMania
many.
2?
Any more than
9,
0 was too many.
12, 15, or 16?
It was 9.
Okay, Dave. I'll go with Dave because he was really confident.
You should never go with Dave when he acts like he's confident because it was 12.
Really?
Yes. 3 venues, 4 matches at each venue.
I'll never listen to Dave again.
It was held at the Nassau Coliseum, the Rosemont Horizon, and the Los Angeles Memorial Sports venue.
That's where our buddy Efren, little baby Efren, was watching live.
Yes, that's the one he went. But yes, 3 locations, 4 matches each place.
Was one of them Atlantic City?
No, Nassau Coliseum.
No, that was Atlantic City was 4 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Rosemont Horizon, and then the LA Memorial Sports Arena.
The Trump dump was 4 and 5. Go ahead.
I know that I wanted to go to the one at Atlantic City, but that's when I learned how expensive it was to fly to the East Coast,
Oh yeah,
and that didn't happen.
I bet. All right, next one. All four of the WWF championships were on the line at WrestleMania 2, but only one champion lost their title that night. Which championship changed hands? Was it the women's title, the Intercontinental title, the World Heavyweight title, or the Tag Team title?
Oh, I'm going to say the tag team title.
I'm going with you on that. I think it was a tag team title.
I believe it was Johnny
Everybody
Valentine
in
and Barbara
everybody in the
Beefcake lost it
chat's
to the
going tag
Bulldogs.
title also.
The
You're
Bulldogs beat
close, Justin.
Brutus.
It was
No,
Greg. Greg the Valentine.
what'd I say?
Johnny.
Johnny? Well, he was their manager. Sorry. Greg Valentine, the Dream Team.
Yes, it was the Dream Team. You all are all correct. It was the Dream Team, lost their titles to the British Bulldogs. That was the main event in Chicago, that title match.
The Rosemont Arena.
Next question. What was the main event of WrestleMania 2 held in New York? Was it Orndorff versus Morocco, Jake the Snake versus George Wells, Roddy Piper versus Mr. T, or Randy Savage versus George the Animal Steel?
C.
I think it was Roddy Piper and Mr. T.
I think our chat is agreeing, and that is correct because it was a boxing match.
Listen, this terrible event has been burned in my 4-year-old brain. I had to sit here and watch this.
Who was Roddy Piper's trainer that came to the ring with him?
That would be Bob Orton, right?
No.
Oh, that was
his boxing trainer.
Yeah. I don't know. I forget.
Anybody in the chat?
Uh-oh.
I know it.
Boxing trainer.
10 seconds.
Joe Frazier.
9 seconds.
Oh.
Lance Peterson. Lance Peterson's got the first name.
Yeah.
So does Heather. Lou Duva.
Lou Duva.
Interesting. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but it got a -5 stars from Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
That
It
match.
was bad. You know why it was bad? Because Mr. T didn't want to sell, and neither did Piper.
Oh yeah, as the main events, I'm sure that was real interesting.
They didn't like each other in real life leading up to that, so there wasn't much working together.
I can imagine, but I guess they did so well WrestleMania 1. They said, "Hey, let's try to work some magic again at WrestleMania 2." All right, next question.
Y'all know who probably the biggest champion that Lou Duva trained was?
Muhammad Ali?
No.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know anything about
Evander Holyfield.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So I mean, he was legit.
He never trained Evander to cover his ear very well, did he? So he should have thought about that.
How many NFL players were in the 20-man battle royal
held at the Chicago venue?
Oh, there was a lot. I remember there was William Refrigerator Perry. I think he won it, right?
4,
Randy White was in that too, wasn't he?
8, and 10.
Mongo was in that, wasn't he?
I think I'm going to go 6, and it's probably 4, but I'm going to go 6.
8.
I think we got some. Well, it's kind of a little bit different in the chat. It was 6.
Boys, I am on a roll, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I missed.
However, it was William Refrigerator Perry was in it, but he did not win the Battle Royal.
Who did?
It was Andre and the Hart Foundation were the last 3.
Oh, that's right.
And
Jim and Brett tried to team up, but Andre threw them both out.
Russ Francis was in it too, wasn't he?
Russ Francis, Jimbo Corvette, Bill Freilich, Russ Francis, Ernie Holmes, Harvey Martin, and Refrigerator Perry.
Man, I loved Harvey Martin.
Those were the 6 gentlemen that were NFL players that were in
Okay.
the 20-man battle royal. And like I said, Andre actually won that.
Andre won in his yellow tights.
Next question. This is our final question. How many matches received a 3 or a below star rating by Dave Meltzer per the Wrestling Observer?
I think I'm going to go
12.
No, I can't
3,
go. Well,
6, 9, or 12.
I'm thinking the Bulldogs match, but then I'm thinking, well, they're working with freaking effing Barber, so that might not make it over 3 either.
I'm
So I'm
thinking that
gonna go
I don't
not.
think there was a match on the card that he gave 3 stars
I
to.
can't think of one that there's no Macho Man and Steamboat here, so
Mm-mm.
I'm going D 12.
We got, what did you say, Pondwater?
I said 12 because I can't imagine Meltzer liking any of it.
He actually liked 3 of the matches, so 9 of them had a rating of 3 or below.
Okay.
So the Orndorff versus Morocco was a dud. That was what the scoring was.
Of course.
Savage versus Animal Steel was a 1 star.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, I
It
was
was
gonna say that
entertaining.
deserved more than a 1.
Jake the Snake and George Wells was a 2 star. So
That's
that was
bullshit.
actually the highest ranked match in New York that was there,
Okay.
because Piper and Mr. T was a -5. Moving on to Chicago, he gave the Battle Royal a 4 star. He gave Moolah versus Velvet McIntyre a dud. Corporal Kershaw versus Nikolai Volkov was a dud. And he gave Steamboat versus Hercules a 3. Moving on to LA, the tag team match, which was no wait. 1, 2, 3.
Allison
Oh.
says that she's got them all right, so now I have to get the next one right, and she has to get it
Well,
wrong.
this was it.
Oh,
Woo.
well, Allison,
This is the last one.
next
He
week,
gave
my friend.
he gave the tag team match, I'm sorry, the British Bulldogs and the Dream Team, he gave that a 4 star. The Funks
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I
versus
think
the Funks versus Tito and Junkyard Dog, they got a 3.5 stars. Adrian Adonis versus Uncle Elmer got a 1 star, and the Hulk Hogan versus Bundy got a 1.25 star.
poor old
So
Adrian. You know who I really feel bad for? Was this when they gave Adrian the gimmick that he ended up with? Or was he Adrian before the pretty Adrian here?
He was always Adrian.
I know, but I'm saying, was he the pretty Adrian or the roughneck Adrian?
no, I don't think he was ever roughneck in WWF.
Yeah, he was.
Well,
Yeah,
once
he
upon
was.
a
I don't
time, the
think he was here.
East-West connection with Jesse Ventura.
Well, yes, but I'm talking about
Okay, so he was the
after
pretty.
WrestleMania 1 is what
He
I
was
mean.
the pretty Adrian here. Right?
Yes, yes.
Who did you say he wrestled?
Uncle Elmer.
Yeah, see, I hate that they say, okay, we're gonna give you this really crazy gimmick and see how you get it over, and he got it over fantastic. But then also, not only are we gonna do that to you, but here, get it over with Uncle Elmer in the ring. Like they gave him a hard row to hoe.
Yes, that is very
I kind
true.
of feel that they kind of screwed him over because Adrian was so, gosh, he was so charismatic and also good in the ring, even for his size at that time. I just thought they could have done so much more with him than they did.
And like
I
you
think
said,
it was like we're going to give you this gimmick, but we're really not going to push it. We're just going to put you there.
right. I think he was probably one of those that was born too late or too early. Like that was almost a Gold Dust in a sense of, what Gold Dust was doing in the character wise anyway.
I don't know if he had a thyroid problem that made him blow up the way that he blew up.
I've heard something about that.
Because he didn't have a natural looking weight gain. He was so oddly shaped. I mean, he could go for a man his size. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Adrian Adonis won the championship, the undisputed world championship tournament that Southwest Championship Wrestling had they actually had a version of the dome globe like the NWA made. It was a really the globe was really beautiful on that belt. But that's when Joe Blanchard and down there they decided they were going to have their own world champion, and they had their tournament, and Adrian Adonis won that tournament.
Well, I mean, and tragically to lose your life in a car accident. I mean, it's really
every time I go back and see him, Amy, I just smile. I love his in-ring work, even with his gay gimmick or whatever. I love it. I just love how he went full into it. Him and Jimmy Hart. I just saw
when he was all in leather. When he was all in leather with the hat,
that was great too.
I mean, he kind of looked like that like out of that scene of in Police Academy when they ended up in the what was it, the blue oyster bar or something like that.
Yes.
I mean, they were. I watch a podcast called Our Vantage Point, and they're doing like the wrestling challenges and stuff through 86 and 87. And they just today I was watching a promo of the flower shop, and they took you like inside the flower shop, and Adrian had like this hot little gay boy working for him, like cutting flowers, and Jimmy was back there like, "Hey, baby, put them over there, baby, put that." And I'm like, this is some good crap right here. Like, it's just fantastic.
Well, we've done a lot tonight. We've gone a long time. We're going to take care of one little more piece of business because I'm going to be in McGee, Mississippi this Friday night for the Lost Art of Wrestling, which we opened the show with. But on Saturday, I'm going to be in Ocean Springs, Mississippi for the Mississippi Rumble. AWA presents the Mississippi Rumble. I wanted to Dos Camachos are entering the Rumble. Those are part of the Camacho family. I mean, the way that he jumps on me and hits me and knocks me out, I still call him a friend Angel Camacho. I mean, these are the brothers. Clayton Bloodstone, who will be in McGee, Mississippi, will also be in Ocean Springs for the Rumble.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Jordan J is going to be in the Rumble. Fuego del Sol is entering the Rumble. John Taylor is in the Rumble. Christian Blake is in the Rumble.
Say it like Vince. We got Alex Cruz is in there.
Alex Cruz is in the Rumble.
I love that when they would.
Joe Pace
is in the Rumble. Run through all the participants. Joe Pace, Alexander O'Friend
is in the Rumble. Van Vicious. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all what. This guy, I've been on some shows with him with Legacy, and I mean, this guy right here is a throwback to a heel that the ladies love him and the men hate him. And I mean, it gave us just an old school feel that and you felt like that you really genuinely felt like he was getting the heat from the guys because the girls they were with were into him.
Well, if it makes Van feel any better, he's got no heat for me or Andrew.
All right. War King is entering the Rumble.
Murdo Brown.
Matty Ice. Matty Ice from that GCW. He's a GCW wrestler. The Gulf Coast Wrestling will be in the house. The Blue Bolt is entering the Rumble. You know what else this Rumble needs? Amped Up. Amped Up is entering the Rumble. Wes Warren is entering the Rumble.
Boobs, double boo.
Jarrell Maxwell is entering the Rumble.
Bloody
more Koloff.
That's
what this Rumble needed was more Koloff.
And Dave Miller entering the Royal Rumble. Is it a 30-man?
Maybe 25.
No,
25.
It's 15. It says 15.
I want to say I saw 25.
Oh, it does?
It says right there, 15 entering the Rumble.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
Gato.
Oh, no, it says is entering the Rumble.
Angel Camacho is entering the Rumble.
Oh, I'm sorry. I looked at that as a 5.
Oh,
that makes sense. Yeah, really. I was like,
I'm at ringside for this one. I'm jumping in and throwing him over the top rope.
Yeah, really. How are you going to get Angel Camacho over the top rope?
I'm going to say, please.
not just you. I mean, in general.
Super Dave would go out quicker than Bushwhacker Luke or Butch or whatever if he went in there against Angel.
That's who I thought that was, Charles West. He's going to be on the show.
Yeah, a lot of the talent for that's going to be in McGee Friday night will be in the Rumble on Saturday.
That's awesome.
And then the champion Pabst is going to be defending his title as well.
Cool.
Oh yeah, Heather's right. I will. Heather says he will do a Pat McAfee spot.
Hey, could you at least do a Jerry Lawler spot? Remember when he went in and he stepped in and got punched and went right back over? 97.
I've been in 2 Rumbles.
Make it 3.
I've been in 2 Rumbles before and got thrown out by the Nightmare Jeremiah in both of them.
He's not in this one, so maybe you would, do a fresh start.
I believe he is in this one.
Oh well, never mind. Well, what's the harm in making it 3 for 3?
Yeah. Well, I'll give y'all a peek behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
My tights, my mask, and my boots will be in my bag.
Oh.
Just in case somebody doesn't show up. And I say, hey, I'll do it.
And Amy, we know with that face he needs a mask. So
that's the rib of the whole thing. Because the crowd at
It'd
Ego
be funny
on
if
both
you
times
went
I
in
was
with
in the
a
Rumble.
mask and a referee shirt.
No, I mean I come out in a tie in my red and yellow tights that's got my Super Dave logo on the tights. Red boots with a bright yellow D on my boots, on my wrestling boots. Now wearing a Superman t-shirt. Then I got a mask on.
We
Super
need a
Dave,
photo of
it's Super
Call
this.
myself Super D.
We just need Tony Schiavone to say it's
So,
Super Dave.
I wasn't fooling anybody.
That's
Nobody was fooled. And
That
then
is hilarious.
just to be a badass, I decided, well, if I'm going to get in here, I'm going after the biggest dog in the fight. And both times it was the Nightmare Jeremiah, who
We saw how that ended.
Promptly threw you out.
Hey, I can go over the top rope with the best of them.
I bet he probably did.
I'm
He's like, man,
envious because I've always just wanted to do that stuff. Just take a throw over the top rope.
But
or
I
a
will
back
not be.
drop.
I will not be in the Mississippi Rumble.
Mm,
Plus, my
Well,
wife's not
speaking
going.
of
My wife's not going with me, so I can't put myself in a position that I can't get back.
oh, that's
Speaking of-
true.
speaking of Teppy of ending quickly, I think we've said it all and we said a damn enough.
We do have one thing to just
Oh,
hint
yep.
about.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I just want to, because we have had a whole lot of stuff to talk about, but we do want to tell our fans we have some really exciting news
Yeah.
that we are
Can we
coming
talk about it?
together. Huh?
I don't
Can we
know.
talk about it yet?
Has it been released officially?
Well, I mean, yeah, FFP
What are they going
talked
to do?
about
Fire
it.
us?
Well, FFP talked about it on theirs.
Fire me. I'm already fired.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Go
like-
ahead, Amy.
wanted to, yeah, really. I just wanted to just start letting our fans know that we are working with 2 other fabulous podcasts, FFP and the TNA Top 10. And TNA Top 10 has been over here in our comments.
Yeah.
And
One
we're
of them has
coming
been
together-
shitting on me the entire show, but we'll forget about that.
Jeffrey.
Calm down, Jeffrey.
Yeah. But we're all really great friends, and a lot of times you've seen Pondwater did a stint over on FFP, top 10, or Andrew from the top 10 has come over to ours when Justin was refereeing and stuff.
I
And
just did a bonus show with Timmy C on the Patreon.
that's right. Just did a bonus show. So we are working our way towards a Patreon with our friends.
A Patreon group of friends.
Yes, thank you.
But it'll all be bonus content. This is
Yes.
not going to go away. This is going to be
No.
good. We're going to do with this the same way we do it every week.
Exactly.
Nothing on this changes. The video version either on Tuesday or Thursday. Audio version drops on Friday morning unless I forget, but Brad Stanton will remind me and then I'll get it up as quick as I can.
That's right.
The only thing that's going to change
listens to us.
is the only thing that's going to change is if you want to see us and Terry and Andrew and the guys over at FFP, of course, Timmy and TJ and Dave, you can get on the Patreon for not very much, and we will do a lot of bonus stuff for you. So that's all that is.
We'll
There's
have
a
more.
lot of-
We'll have more information about that.
Oh, yes.
If you want to look like $1 million damn dollars, go over to jumpinthepond.com.
Mm-hmm.
Promo code First Lady will get you 20% off. 20%, y'all. It works. If it don't, if that promo code doesn't work, it means I don't have 20% in it. So it's not for every item. But I'm telling you, we have some neat stuff over there. The I'm an elderly shirt, pucker up asshole, hashtag not completely straight.
Jeffrey.
And it's the Pond Water Dave logo.
Yes.
Depends on the night.
The logo shirt.
That should be on the back of that shirt. Not completely straight. Depends on the night. On the back.
Depends on the company. No.
I mean, so jumpinthepond.com has our merch. We appreciate that. pwdpod.com is our YouTube channel. Please go and subscribe,
share, and like.
And don't pull that Hollywood crap on us and then unsubscribe.
Yeah.
I mean, in the immortal words of Dr. Evil, throw me a frickin' bone.
We want to thank everyone. We've had Ben Jones staying up late over there in Australia, and we want to thank Heather Whitley, of course, Andrew and Terry with us, Willie Buck, Lance Peterson, Allison Fay, all kinds of people. Thank you so much for being here every week with us. We so much appreciate it.
Yes, we know you have a choice on how you spend your evenings and get your entertainment, and the fact that y'all would take a minute to watch us means the world to us. We want to thank the Wright brothers, Paul and Sammy, Lost Art of Wrestling. We thank them for coming on, sharing us a little information.
And Amy's favorite wrestler,
Aaron Eagle.
Yep.
Aaron Eagle, thank you so much. Good luck against Tommy Becker. We're pulling for you.
Go, Tommy Becker.
Hey, we like Tommy Becker too.
Yes, we do.
Thank the world of Tommy Becker.
Not so much. But anyway.
All right. And we hope that you like
Aaron Eagle. Aaron Eagle.
Oh.
You, sir, are my hero.
Oh, Lord.
And I would be proud to be a sidekick.
His name is Mr. Eagle, Pondwater Dave. And
we
would like to thank you all for joining us, as we said, on the Talking Wrestling with Pondwater Dave.
And Tim Robinson's out there too.
Yes, Tim Robinson. I knew I was missing one. So
we missed a few.
For Tim Robinson and everyone in the chat, and for Amy, for Dave and myself, please take care of yourself and each other. So long, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.